This is the 7th Trump song that Dancy Sings Big Singing Channel presents. Country on Fire, made from Girl on Fire. He's just phony and he's on fire. Corrupter than a politician, acting like a puppet. This election was stolen and it's on fire. Filled with voter fraud, but he knew he would get away with it. Oh, he got support from the swamp and is counting on it. He got support from fake media, which is censoring free speech. This election was stolen. This election was stolen. He's walking on fire. This country's walking on fire. Looks like legit, but he's illegitimate. So corrupt he can ruin your lives. Better restore election integrity.
Hi everyone! Welcome to another episode of Chud Watch. Today we're gonna have a lot of fun looking at CPAC from the past weekend.
Never let big tech censor us.
You know what made me sad? Why didn't they bring Danzy? Why didn't they bring Danzy to come perform at CPAC, okay? We're on a hype train, by the way. We just reached level 1.
Stand up with President Trump, and we're not giving up.
This island was stolen. Like, when you guys are, like, making dinner later tonight, and in your head, all of a sudden, there's just a screechy, this election was stolen! I want you to think of me. I really do.
Everybody stares as the election goes by, cause they can see fraud evidence everywhere. Watch million ballots in swing states. Everybody knew there's massive voter fraud. And it's an evil world. But they will let it go, baby, go, baby.
You want to play CPAC bingo? Sure. Danzy's a national treasure, and I don't trust anyone who thinks otherwise, okay? Supposed to skip to 40 seconds.
Any mercy in your heart? Please just kill me right now. Come on, do it! Strike me down, please! Alright, I guess he's busy. Play the feud, hey, okay. Let's go.
Get your bingo cards for CPAC bingo.
Robert Meyer. Good luck to you.
Darren Krager, thanks a lot.
All right, it's the Miggers versus the Crackers.
We're at 56% of the level 2 hype train, by the way.
Louis, listen, it's Miger, not Migger, bro.
Hey, cut me a break, bro. I haven't seen my penis in 8 years, all right?
Mad fucking TV. A Colston with 20 bits. Tomorrow is JP Day. I heard his book is more rambly and his advice is more banal. That sounds about right. Cherry Tree Boy, thank you for subscribing with a 7-month streak. Damn, Hannah, the months seem to be flying by. I know, right? It's very weird. Krizia, thank you for subscribing with a 5-month streak. Says, hi, Hannah. Danzy is so painful. Yeah, she is. But it hurts so good, you know? T-Nav, thanks for subscribing with 5 months. Yay, happy to make it to a stream. Usually I can only watch the videos after the fact. Called out sick because the second COVID vaccine dose is kicking my ass. Well, I'm glad you got it nonetheless. Thank you for being responsible. Wind Chanter with 30 bits says, this freaking slaps. Doodleburb, thanks for subscribing with 2 months. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. Just got here and there's already a hype train and you're playing the torture song, so this is going to be a typical stream. I did not see the CPAC national anthem, no. KR Goss, thank you for subscribing with 5 months. Says 5 months of Hannah. Tucker White 94 20 bits says, I doubt Chud's like what's her name here could even define free speech, much less censorship. Staying quiet now, thank you for subscribing with 4-month streak. Newmanogs with 100 bits, thank you. Wind Chanter with 20 bits says, thank you for slogging through Jordan Peterson so we don't have to. Of course. Left Flank Lorax, thanks for subscribing. And that catches us up on bit messages. Let me put on some music or something that isn't Danzy. Guys, I'm gonna be real with you. You completely have the power to take away the power of Danzy. If all of you stopped reacting so severely, I wouldn't get so much joy in subjecting you to Danzy. But you make it so fun. So here's what we're going to take a look at today. I doubt we're going to get to all of it, but maybe we'll do a little bit longer of a stream today to get through more of it. If we need to, we'll roll over some of this into the next Chud Watch as well, but I try and keep relatively relevant. I wanted to wait on CPAC until the final day, because I wanted to include the Donald Trump stuff, but, you know. 0M80 says feet wine. Yeah, that's like the newest episode of our Bible study that came out today. Left Flank Lorax, thanks for gifting a sub. Baja says, Hannah, you're so annoying. Oh, that's not very nice. Left Flank Lorax, thanks for gifting another sub. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. You know what else I hate, Hannah? Queen. Please don't play any Queen music. It's torture for me. You know, I think the people who own Queen's Library are probably a bit more litigious than Danzy sings, so that's probably not worth the joke. Left Flank Lorax, thanks for gifting another sub. Appreciate it. If you didn't already get your CPAC bingo cards, by the way. Pseudosapien, thanks for subscribing with for 9 months with a 3-month streak, says Subby Wubbies. I believe that's a stream, baby. We'll call it... Do you have any ideas? Let me think. What's the guy from Reanimator's name? Herbert. Oh god, what's his last name? Herbert West. Yes. This sub baby's name is Herbert West. MikeBax321 says, does Trump go back to the White House and be president in 3 days? In 3 days, I bet when it doesn't happen, they will move it to July 4th. Maybe. Maybe. The QAnon people that I follow on, because I like to keep an eye on them, because I do conspiracy stuff and I do politics stuff, and it's all combined now because we live in a political hellscape, and I try and keep an eye on QAnon people. A lot of them are already being like, don't say any specific date. I think they're starting to catch on that every time they say a date, nothing happens, so now they're going to try and make it more vague so they can always constantly say, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, you know? MikeBax321 with 20 bits. Does Trump go back? Oh, already read that one, sorry. Windchanter says, it's my birthday tomorrow. Happy almost birthday. My birthday is on the 12th. So we're almost birthday buddies. MMO Addicted, thank you for subscribing with 9 months. Says, yes, sub baby. Name it something eldritch. Let's see. We're gonna get an eldritch name generator, considering I've never read Lovecraft, so we're gonna go with Tabra. That is the baby's name. Sounds a little Klingon. Although that has a vowel in it. Do Klingons use vowels? Staying quiet now with 20 bits says, my birthday is on the 13th. So close to my birthday, buddy. Yep. That's my, no, actually my cousin's is the day before mine, not the day after. Sushi Mom has the link to CPAC Bingo if you need it, by the way. Newmanogs, thanks for gifting, or Newman Nogs, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Very appreciated. They all use the glottal consonant. Okay. Good to know. Oh god, my chat's so far behind on my second screen. Antipodian Squid says, I've noticed that all the sub-babies' Hannah names have typical male names. Weird the rate of sub-sons in this neck of the woods. Must be something in the cheese. I guess I haven't noticed that. I'll have to wait it out and balance it and do a bunch of girl names. Have I finished Discovery? Not yet. Oh, we did level 5. I wasn't even... We breached level 5. We're at 105%. God damn. Good start to the month, guys. Much appreciated. Pyromancer with 100 bits says, hype. Thank y'all. This is the... This is for a cleanse, because I think it's hilarious. Did you, have you guys heard of this, Zootopia comic? Maybe some of the furries have. I don't know. Stone Corbell with 100 bits says, it's okay, you don't really need to read Lovecraft. If you're curious, try At the Mountains of Madness. Probably his best story and doesn't even have any weird racism. Oh, that's good. That's a bonus. Doodleburb, I've read and unironically started to get invested in it. Beautiful. It is the abortion comic, but it's continued. Like, that was only issue 1. Yeah, I can link you the bingo card if someone else doesn't. One sec. Oh shit, didn't mean to do that. Oh, Sushi Mom got it. Sweet. So here's what's on my bingo card, at least. The bingo cards are going to be different. You guys know how bingo works. But on mine, it's call Biden-Harris commies, QAnon references, anarchist jurisdictions, Soros, 1776. January 6th was Antifa, illegal voters, Rush Limbaugh, the land can vote map, credit Trump for an Obama policy, insult Bernie, Antifa violence, radical liberal, yelling for no reason, AOC is a bartender, Cheney insults poll watchers, landslide victory, dead voters, immigrant fear-mongering, 1350 reference, Ilhan anti-Semitism, two genders, it's science, Trump makes a gross incest rape joke, best is yet to come. There's no command for it. This is like a one-time thing, so you just gotta, like, get it from someone. We did it! Level 5 support here. I think this should link you to it. What is 1350? It's a white supremacist dog whistle, typically. It references an FBI crime statistic that says 50% of violent crime is committed by African Americans. African Americans making up 13% of the population at the time of that statistic. So they'll go, why does 13% of the population create 50% of violent crime or whatever? Again, not taking into account any of the context around that statistic, income levels, etc., etc. Basically, it's a way for white supremacists to claim that people of certain races are just violent or worse than white people or some other nonsense. I'm so thirsty today. You remember one of those days that water just, like, tastes like the best thing ever created by the universe? It's like it touches your lips and it's like rainfall in the Sahara Desert for the first time in 50 years. Pyromancer says, I hear that the human race commits all of the crimes. That's true. Very few animals commit crimes. Non-human animals, I should say. Doodlebird with 100 bits says, sorry if this is dumb, but mine has 1488 reference. What's that about? Hitler. Nazi shit. 1488. 14 is the 14 words, which is like a Nazi meme, basically, that says something along the lines of, let me look it up. 1488. Meaning, it's like, we must preserve the future for the white race or some bullshit. Yeah, here's the ADL's website on it. 1488 is a combination of two popular white supremacist numeric symbols. The first symbol is 14, which is the shorthand for the 14-word slogan, quote, we must secure the existence of our people and for a future for white children. It's like a meme, for lack of a better word, for white supremacists. And 88 is HH, Hail Hitler. Staying quiet now says, I used to feel that way about water back when I used to work out. That obviously hasn't happened in a long time. I've been working out more, so maybe that's it. My body needs more water. Dr. Xanadu says, saying people of different races are inherently more violent is just factually wrong. It's different classes that are intrinsically more violent, like barbarians. I don't even think it's intrinsically. I just think that certain sets of circumstances set people up to be more prone to commit crime for their own survival. Regardless of race. Race has nothing to do with it. Cherry Tree Boy says, is radical liberal a free space? I don't think there is a free space on this one, no. Cherry Tree Boy earned the 1K bits badge. Nice. Did I see the comments that say the CPAC stage looks like a Nazi rune? Yeah, we talked about it the other day. We talked about it during the weekend when that first blew up on Twitter and I'm sure elsewhere. What I think happened with it, I don't think, like, how do I put this? I don't think Donald Trump or any of the other speakers at CPAC were like, we want a stage that looks like a Nazi symbol. I think someone in the planning phase, an unnamed person, I don't know who it is, snuck that shit in and was like, haha. Not haha in like it's a complete joke way. That person probably is a white supremacist or something. But I think they snuck it in, no one else noticed, and everyone approved it. That's my guess. I don't think it's like a concerted effort. I don't think everyone in the room went, and we're going to, here's our motion to make the stage a Nazi symbol. The ayes have it. I don't think it was like that. I think someone designed the stage, knew of the white nationalist symbol, and wanted to do it, and got away with it. But it seems too coincidental for absolutely zero people to have done that intentionally. I don't think it's like a conspiracy where I just think it was one or two people who were like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if we did this? And again, not complete joke, haha, Nazi, haha, in the way that they think it's funny to dog whistle. Wind Chanter with 30 bits says, I was disappointed your John Doyle mug did not appear in the John Doyle sex tape. Sex tape's a weird way to put that. His video on adult material. I probably needed to wash it, honestly. Hold on. Baja's texting me. She texted, I hope she's okay with me sharing this. It's not anything inappropriate. She said, you're mine, in one text message. Very sweet. And then the next one was clearly when I played Danzy, and she says, except when you play Danzy. I don't think the stage should count for 1488 reference, because that's so specific. Like, if you say 1488, I assume it's actually referencing either the 14 words or 88 in some way, not just any Nazi symbolism. It should say Nazi dog whistle then. But you made the bingo card, I didn't, so I guess that's your call, what your intent was. Existential Baguette, thank you for subscribing at tier 2 with 8 months, almost a sub, baby. That's a good point. That's true. Baja did say, you're mine, because I first said, you're my favorite person. She didn't just do, like, a Mortal Kombat, your soul is mine, out of nowhere. That's good context. It's up to me. I'm gonna make it harder then, and I'm gonna say, no, it doesn't count. What's this samurai thing people are talking about? I've heard of this, but I don't... Oh god, it's RT though. A Real American Samurai, bizarre video featuring Japanese futurologist shown at CPAC hails Trump as communist fighting hero. I just want to see the video. Can I get better video quality if I, like, go to the page on Twitter and go to the actual tweet? Maybe. Let's check this out real quick. This video was shown at CPAC or something? Can I find it on YouTube? Well, I should probably check that first. Samurai. Futurologist. Future. Oh, God. Futurologist. Do you guys ever realize how dumb I am when I try and spell something? I think this is the video. Yeah. Samurai futurologist. They played this at CPAC or something, I guess? Why? This is the highest quality this goes? This is 720p? This doesn't even look 480p. Who rendered this?
The That samurai is right back. Hello, America. Hello, American conservatives. My name is Genki Fuji. I'm a Japanese journalist and an author of more than 7
He paid them $100,000 to run this? Oh, it was an ad. I see.
books on international relations.
Wait, he's written over 70 books? Those books must be trash.
I run online world forecast news service. I respect President Trump and American conservatives. President Trump fought against Chinese communists in order to protect the entire free world. President Trump, he's a real American samurai. I want to make US-Japan alliance stronger. I want to build solid friendship with real American patriots or American samurai. Let's fight together for freedom. Let's slash the cancel culture. Let's start US-Japan samurai to samurai alliance.
I can't believe they played that. He was in a cult in the 90s? That tracks. That tracks. Yeah, do we have Samurai Trump on the bingo card? I don't think so. Did you see this lady, this kid, I don't know how old she is, 18th birthday, so just an adult. Did you see this woman who had a Trump-themed birthday party? That's sad.
Alone should be reason enough.
Well, we'll save that for when we actually cover the thing.
Who has a feeling that Trump's gonna come back? Who's with me? Can I get a like and follow? We got this, y'all. Trump 2021. Let's do it.
Okay, either she thinks presidential elections happen every year, or QAnon. Or she's a QAnon person.
Yourselves why things happen. I'm sad for our country. I'm angry that January 6th happened the way it did. Never will I condone violence on any side, but maybe you should ask yourselves why things happened the way it did. They've had us on lockdown, censored us beyond belief, lied to us, rigged our elections, reported nothing but fake news, taxed us while giving billions to other countries.
No, there was no election fraud. Mike Max 321 says, wait until you see the mask issue in the video in the golden statue of Trump. Ugh.
Maybe Congress should take a step back and say maybe it's our fault America is so angry. And Democrats...
Is it our fault that a bunch of butthurt right-wingers decided to try and overthrow the government and murder us?
You open the door to this reaction because for the last 4 years, you've allowed your supporters to harass, dox, and assault us. We watched as you defended inexcusable actions by BLM and Antifa, destroying businesses, burning down...
They burned down a Wendy's, so we're gonna overthrow the United States government and murder a bunch of politicians. Cool.
Murdering those they don't agree with, all while the words domestic terrorists slip out of your mouths like butter when referring to us. Where was that energy when your supporters were wreaking havoc across America, and still are? You must not remember when you praised anti-Kavanaugh protesters as they stormed the Capitol.
Oh my god, they went and, like, stood in there. And I'm pretty sure the Capitol wasn't fucking closed to the public at that time either. They went in their wool fucking hats and stood there. They didn't smear shit on the walls and break the windows and search for Congress people to literally fucking murder.
Or BLM when they set DC on fire, yet you say this is the lowest point in American history.
KBS666, thanks for subscribing with Prime.
Crack open a book about American history and then get back to me, because I will not be lectured on morality by the same people that stayed silent and watched as cities burned down all summer long. Save me your outrage. I'm sad.
Stainless steel one, which is made out of... also made a stainless steel one, which is made out of 316 stainless steel. It's also painted as...
Whataboutism, whataboutism. Don't you just love whataboutism? It's so stupid.
Well, that one we hope to eventually be in the Trump Library. It's literally a piece of art. It's gorgeous, not a flaw in it.
Okay.
And then I also have one more that's going to really piss off the liberals, and that is going to be a bronze one, and it's going to be 24 karat gold plated.
Wow.
So that's...
That doesn't piss me off. It's just embarrassing. It's cringe. Tucker White 94 says, also, what city anywhere burned down, right? That's what I'm saying.
You know.
So are these for sale?
This one is for sale.
Okay.
The first one is priceless. It's going to...
Their whole identity is literally trying to piss off people they perceive to be on the left. That's their entire identity. How exhausting must that be for that to be your goal every day?
Yep. The gold one will end up being auctioned off at either Sotheby's or Christian.
Okay.
Whatever.
What kind of price are we talking for this one?
This one's $100,000.
Okay.
The other one, probably about $10 million.
Okay.
For the bronze gold.
You want $100,000 for that ugly, tacky piece of shit statue, and how many million did you say for the other one that's actually gold-plated? You want $10 million for an ugly statue of Donald Trump? The only way someone is paying for a $10 million golden statue of Donald Trump is if Donald Trump is the one buying it. Pyromancer, there's no way they spent more than $1,000 making that. Yeah, no way. He's absolutely taking advantage of the Trump cult of personality to try and make a quick buck. Or 10 million. Doodleburb, imagine claiming you follow the Bible and Christian doctrine and then literally worshiping, glorifying a golden statue. If only there was a story about this.
That's the Sotheby's one.
That's the Sotheby's.
Hold on, did I see this? It's a Vadim link. Vadim's been killing it lately. Oh, God. I want to vomit. Where did it go?
Okay. And have you had any communication with the Trump team about...
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Did you see Roger Stone fucking dancing? Oh, look at that criminal piece of shit go. You never seen someone with a tattoo of Richard Nixon on his back get this jiggy with it. Ugh. Oh my God. I had to mute it because of the music, but... Jesus Christ. Okay. More CPAC stuff. We'll get into the full speeches in a minute, but this is hilarious. Did you guys see the host getting booed at CPAC for asking the attendees to wear masks?
Does the Bill of Rights matter? The First Amendment, it matters. We conservatives believe in the rule of law because we know that when the law is enforced, our rights are protected. That's why we're doing such a big effort at this CPAC to talk about the Bill of Rights. But I also want to mention one thing, and I know this might sound like a little bit of a downer, but we also believe in property rights, and this is a private hotel. And we believe in the rule of law, so we need to comply with the laws of this county that we're in. But a private hotel, just like your house, gets to set its own rules. Carly?
This is almost, I think it's at the highest it'll go, almost. I'll put it up as high as it'll go. Sorry, it's quiet.
Our CPAC director?
Well, as Dan mentioned, we are in a private facility, and we do want to be respectful.
It's like they're talking to children. They have to be like, all right, now I know you care about the Bill of Rights, right? And we're in a private hotel, and they set the rules. Jesus Christ, how frustrating to try and herd these adult children through a goddamn conference all weekend. Zorgnax, thanks for gifting a sub. Pyromancer says the amount of skirting around the issue is sad.
All of the ordinances that they have as their private property. So please, everyone, when you're in the ballroom, when you're seated, you should still be wearing a mask. So if everybody can go ahead, work on that. I know it's not the most fun.
You have the right. You
Are
have
they
the
just
right
shouting freedom?
to set their own rules in your own house, and we're borrowing somebody else's house. So we need to comply with their rules. So thank you all for putting on your masks. I wear a mask when I'm in the halls, and we're going to comply with their rules.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank you.
conference.
Good God. Okay, I'm gonna get some more water before we get into the full speeches and stuff. And Caitlin Bennett was at CPAC as well, so let me put something on real quick while I go get some water.
This is the 8th Trump
Be right
song
back.
that Dance the Singing Channel made. Who President Trump is, made from Sue Thomas FBI theme song. Who I am. Please share, like, subscribe to support Trump. Thank you. Had he not chosen to run for president, he would have enjoyed a billionaire's lifestyle. But he'd rather have sacrificed it. Had he not been elected president, he wouldn't be a victim of fake news. He wouldn't be a victim of dirty schemes. 'Cause we know exactly who he is. He is President Donald J. Trump.
This is a hostage situation.
When the election is gone, we're still his biggest
Pyromancer says
fans.
unsub for unusual and cruel punishments. And staying quiet now. Did you see this? Guess they didn't learn from Parlor. Yeah, I saw that a bunch of info got hacked. Yeah,
That's why we
You know how it
support him, and that's who he is. When he says something not political correct.
Okay, who are we gonna watch first? Who are we could do Ted Cruz, we could do Don Jr., we could watch Caitlin talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene, we could do Donald Trump's speech, but I kind of wanted to save that. Pyromancer, that's like asking what bullet I want to put in my head. And I love her singing. Can I play more? You guys are so mean to each other. People are saying poop girl, so we'll do Caitlin first, and then we'll move on to the actual speeches. So I think Caitlin was at CPAC. Yeah, Caitlin talked to Marjorie Taylor Greene at CPAC. Let's see what this nightmare of a conversation was, because I can't even imagine how pain this is gonna hurt. This is you know, it's like a crossover issue in the comics. Like if Tony Stark and Hank Pym meet up, and there's like a meeting of the minds, and they gotta develop some sort of device to stop Galactus or something, and they're both super geniuses, so it's like a cool team up. It's like that, but the opposite. It's two really ridiculous, not very bright people teaming up to create a new level of stupid. So let's take a look.
If you have any advice to Christians, conservatives, Trump supporters to speak up, what would you say to them?
I would say that we are possibly living in the last days of having free speech.
Oh my god, no you're not. Getting banned from Twitter is not against your free speech. Stop saying dumb shit on Twitter.
And if anyone values that, and if you're a Christian who has been saved by my Savior, their Savior, your Savior, Jesus Christ, if you believe in God, you better stop being complacent, and you better stop being quiet.
No one is stopping you from expressing your religious beliefs. Your religious beliefs are fine. Everyone just doesn't agree with them, but that's their right as well. The United States, we have a First Amendment right to religion. You can have whatever religion you want, or no religion at all. Those are both fine, as long as you don't start imposing whatever you happen to believe or not believe on other people. It's totally fine.
We are given this grace, and we're not meant to keep it covered. We're not meant to keep a lid on our light. We're meant to expose it to the world, and we are supposed to be brave.
We're here with Marjorie Taylor Greene. You need no introduction. You're awesome. You're a fighter. You're so strong. A lot of people like to say you're my mom, so that's okay with me.
I'll take that. You're a very good, solid, conservative, gun-loving, Second Amendment supporting young lady. So that's
you heard it here. Marjorie is my mom. So, okay. Ever since you won your election back in Georgia, the media has just loved to attack you, and it seems as if because they don't have Trump to go after, you are their new target.
They go after her because she says batshit insane things and she's currently in government. Donald Trump isn't currently a part of the government anymore because he lost his election. That's how that works.
How do you handle it so well?
Well, the way I handle it is I didn't run for the media. I ran for the people. And my saying during my campaign, and I continue to...
I ran for the people that believe in Jewish space lasers, okay? We gotta believe that these people know what they're doing, or else would they have elected me? That's what I thought.
Say it is people over politicians. As a matter of fact, that's so important to me. We have that on my wall in my office in Washington, D.C., and I can't wait for Nancy Pelosi to stop running our Capitol like it's some kind of military state and we get that border wall taken down.
Bitch, don't inflame people to try and do an insurrection and kill members of Congress then. You stupid, stupid person.
I can't wait for the taxpayers and my constituents to come in and see me in my office so they can see how much they mean to me.
Oh, also COVID. Is she just talking about COVID restrictions? I guess I was flashing back to, like, when the National Guard and stuff was there, but she's probably just talking about, like, reasonable COVID restrictions. God damn it. She's not wearing a mask either. Oh my goodness.
Me. But the media, we know exactly who they are. We saw it with President Trump over the past 4 years. Most of the mainstream media is Democrats. They support Democrats. They want these...
They want it both ways. This happened when I was still living with my parents, too. My dad would both say the mainstream media is all liberals, but also he would brag that Fox News is the #1 watched channel in the country for news. Which is it, guys? That would make Fox News the mainstream media then, would it not? So the whole mainstream media isn't liberal.
Progressive policies in place, and they use their powerful platform to push these policies. And so when someone who's conservative like me, and I truly love America, and my policies are America first, just like President Trump, and I support him completely, and I can't wait for him to speak tomorrow, they want to tear me down and smear me and create a narrative that they can sell to the public.
They keep quoting my words back to me. Why do they keep doing that?
And how I handle it is that's not who I am. And all of my family and friends are constantly appalled at their attacks, and so are my constituents. And so here's the great news. You don't worry about bullies. You don't let them bully you, and you don't worry about their lies, and you keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing the right thing, because it's not about the media in this country, it's about the people.
My story is kind of similar to yours, because right now I get chased out of college campuses. They don't want me in these...
Yeah, as it turns out, if you're a terrible person, people don't want you around them or near them. Weird how that works out. You know, my goal in life is to never get to a point that I'm such an awful person that I get run out of town by an angry mob. It's not a high bar, but it's a bar. It's a bar that Caitlyn has failed to jump over, but, better luck next time, I guess? I don't know.
Public spaces, they chased you and voted you out of your committee. And I know in your press statements you say, well, now I have more time to focus on the people back in Georgia. Are you still of that mindset? Are you regretting that you aren't on that committee at all? Are you still happy with who you are and where you're going?
Oh, listen, that was a great big gift.
Yeah.
From the Democrats.
I'm not mad. I'm glad you took power away from me.
and 11 of my very weak Republican colleagues. It was 10 that voted for impeachment on Trump. It was 11 that voted to kick me off, and most of those people have been censured in their own districts and states. So I think they're hearing from people exactly the message they need to hear. No, being...
How dare you not toe the party line specifically about my crazy, backward conspiracy beliefs? You need to vote for me because we're on the same team.
Being removed from committees right now was the best thing that could have happened to me because the Democrats are running Congress. They do not care about the Republicans' voices.
Good. Shut up then. All of you. That'd be great.
Ideas, Republican amendments, Republican policies on these committees. And so by removing me from committees, I have been freed up of having to listen to their woke, progressive, ridiculous, socialist, Democrat ideas.
Wait, is socialism on the bingo card? Do we have anything so far? I'm just trying to... I don't think we got it yet. Okay, not bad.
For hours on Zoom meetings where they actually sit and wear a mask on the Zoom meeting. So I'm freed up to...
They probably have staffers around them, or if they don't, they're trying to set a good example. You idiot. I'm sorry that I don't usually just sit and call someone an idiot for the whole time, but she, like, viscerally frustrates me, and she's legitimately very stupid, and the fact that someone this, like, intellectually deficient made their way to Congress disgusts me, and it makes me really mad, so I apologize.
To go be back at home, serving my constituents, having town halls, talking with people at home and hearing their ideas. And then I'm also running things on the House floor, which has been a lot of fun. Calling to adjourn and trying to give Democrats some more time before they vote for horrible things like the Equality Act.
The Equality Act literally just adds, like, transgender people to like the Civil Rights Act to make sure that, like, you can't discriminate against trans people. Horrible things, like making it so you can't discriminate people for being trans. Hoo boy.
So there's a lot of things that I can do, and I'm so excited to have great relationships with many of my Republican colleagues because they go and support my ideas on committees. So I say I'm chairwoman of the Committee of the Whole, and I'm having a...
That is very assistant to the regional manager energy. I'm not gonna lie.
Great time.
Well, that brings me to my next question. The establishment GOP, they hate you. They hate you. Why are they so threatened by your existence?
Because she makes them look bad, which is honestly a pretty impressive feat considering the state of the GOP at the current moment. But she does make them look even worse.
Well, the establishment, so we can say the swamp, right? So it's the political pundits, it's the Beltway, it's...
You're talking to a political pundit. Caitlin is a political pundit.
The consultants that deem themselves so much more intelligent and wise, and they know better than the people, right? Well, their problem is they've been living in a little bubble, a political bubble, where they've only been looking at themselves and talking to each other. They are so clueless about what real people think, what real people want, and how real people feel. They have to constantly poll to find out what people really think.
Yeah, because no one individual person is going to have the scope to know what the entire country wants, and we're talking about national level policies here. Like, what someone in Georgia thinks about, like, the Equality Act is going to be entirely different than someone in New York or California or LA or Colorado. That's why you do polling, to get general consensus. Because even though, like, Marjorie here's like, I know what the people want, no, you probably know what your constituents in your district want, but they're not representative of the country as a whole. In fact, they're probably representative of a minority of the country's opinion, which is why you guys lost the presidency.
But they're so disconnected, and these are the ones that are ruining the Republican Party. These are the same people that under the first 2 years under President Trump failed America. They failed our president, and they failed the people that voted for him and voted...
What do you mean? They did exactly what Donald Trump came in to do. Cut taxes for rich people.
for Republicans. And that's why Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats won in 2018. And so, you know, what I have...
Also, people hate Donald Trump as evidenced by his spectacular election loss, so...
I have to say to those establishment Republicans is you're not representing the people that are voting Republican, and they're losing their people's support. And so that's why they're getting censured. That's why everybody hates Adam Kinzinger. That's why everybody's fed up with Liz Cheney, and nobody cares about those type of Republicans. It's old. We're done with them. It's like, let's move on.
It's time to get fashy and conspiracy theory. Much better.
So it's President Trump's party in America.
Miss K's subscribes for 9 months. Ooh, what's this stream baby? This baby's name is going to be... Caitlin Benner Green is the name of this baby. Cheney insults. That's on the bingo card. Do I have that? Hold on. Hey, we did it.
First.
Absolutely. One of the things that you wear on your mask when you do have to wear one is...
I've got this one today. This is my impeach Biden.
But you wear one that says end abortion.
Yes.
What does ending abortion specifically, ending abortion, mean to you? Where do we go with it?
We completely end abortion. It's the worst evil committed in our day.
No, it isn't. There's no version of the world where you stop abortion, period. There are safe, legal abortions, or there's a world where you try and ban abortions and people go back to getting back alley abortions in the back of beauty clinics or beauty shops, you know, with non-medical personnel performing them. And that's bad. No.
You know, Roe versus Wade happened in 1973. I was born in 1974. So my entire life, your entire life, babies are murdered every single day in the womb. And that's a horrific evil. And our government even finds ways for taxpayer dollars to pay for it. That's what they did with the $1.9 trillion budget last night. One of the amendments I was able to introduce on the Rules Committee, see, they kicked me off, but guess what? I was on the Rules Committee yesterday. I introduced an amendment to stop all federal funding of that bill to go towards abortion. Democrats rejected it, of course, because they...
Yeah, because that's a shitty policy. And doesn't even make sense either, by the way. If you're giving money to medical facilities, it's going into their slush fund, so it doesn't really matter, but whatever.
Reject everybody's, Republicans' amendment. But yeah, no, we need to end it. We need to end it. Over 62 million people have been murdered. They've been canceled. And they...
Oh no, Oh no, I got accidentally pregnant. It's time to cancel this baby. Hashtag cancel this fucking fetus. Abortion is cancel culture. Someone make me a t-shirt that says abortion is cancel culture, okay? Please, for the love of God. This fetus is canceled.
They want to cancel innocent lives in the womb. They want to cancel gender, male and female. They want to cancel...
Hashtag gender is canceled.
Conservative Americans that believe in those very real, fundamental things of life. And so ending abortion means ending it completely. Every life has a
What
chance.
size shirt do I wear? XXL.
So it's not regulating it, it's not heartbeat bills, it's abolishing it.
Abolish abortion. End it completely. Stop it. It's horrible. There aren't words for it.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. Okay, the last question, because I don't want to take up any more of your time. Speaking of labels, and they love to call you a conspiracy theorist, all of the garbage, right? Even though they believe in the Russia collusion. That's a big conspiracy theory, is it not?
Yep.
It's one that was actually, backed up by the investigation, but don't let that bother you.
Yeah,
Jake and I just covered this on a Dave Rubin episode in the last week or so.
A lot of conservatives are having trouble keeping their jobs. We talked about being canceled. and keeping their social media.
No, white supremacists are having trouble keeping their jobs. You can be conservative, just don't be white supremacist.
Getting banned everywhere like President Trump. There's a lot of people who, like me and you, are feeling
Russia-China fear-mongering. That seems like the opposite, because she's saying she doesn't believe Russia thing, so I don't think so.
scared to speak up. If you have any advice to Christians...
Yeah, Russia didn't hack the election in 2016. They did interfere, and that was the claim.
Conservatives, Trump supporters, to speak up, what would you say to them?
I would say that we are possibly living in the last days of having free speech.
That being said, I do think harping on the Russia thing over and over and over wasn't a good strategy politically. Because at the end of the day, if people were swayed by, like, Facebook memes that were put together by, like, a troll farm in Russia, it is what it is, and you just need to learn to combat that. Telling people that the meme that, you know, they've been liking about conspiracy theories was produced intentionally to trick them, it's not going to convince them. So you just got to find a way to combat it outside of just telling them that that's a thing.
And if anyone values that, and if you're a Christian who has been saved by my Savior, their Savior, your Savior, Jesus Christ, if you believe in God, you better stop being complacent and you better stop being quiet. We are given this grace, and we're not meant to keep it covered. We're not meant to keep a lid on our light. We're meant to expose it to the world, and we are supposed to be brave. And if you are speaking the truth in this world, you're going to be attacked, and that's okay, because it's not this world that we live for. It's the next one.
If that's your true belief, you shouldn't be in Congress. If you think that this life doesn't matter at all, and I'm not saying you can't be religious. You can absolutely be religious. Most people in Congress are religious. But, like, if you do not give a shit about the planet that we live on in the real world, and your entire goal has to do with, like, some sort of non-proven heavenly afterlife, fuck everything that happens on Earth, you should not be involved in policies that affect real people here on planet Earth. You just shouldn't.
And so what I say to everyone is whether you're a religious person or whether you're not one, you have a great gift that most people on this planet don't have, and that is the freedom of speech. So use it, and don't ever forget that people like me that have been elected, everyone that works in government, everyone that serves in government, works for the people. It's a customer service relationship. See, that's something I understand as a business owner. I have to serve my customers, and their tax dollars pay for my paycheck. They pay for everything to do with government, and the American people need to remember that. So, you know, it's hold people accountable. Tell them exactly what you have to say, feel, think, and hear, and never stop. Don't get discouraged. Don't get bullied by the media. Don't get bullied by big tech. Who cares about Mark Zuckerberg and, you know, Google
Thanks,
and all
Sushi
these
Mom.
people? It's not about them. It's about the American people, and the people matter. So people over politicians. I just keep saying it.
On behalf of my audience, I just want to say so many people love you, Marjorie, because you are real. You are a real American. You're not an elitist out there, and I just want to say on behalf of them, we love you. We truly do. You represent us, just like we see Donald Trump. That's what we see. We see ourselves in you and Donald Trump, and that's why we love you so much. So
I find the hypocrisy interesting, too. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene is a high school dropout that happened to end up owning a bar, and then she became a congressperson, and all of a sudden that makes her a real down-to-earth person. But, like, when AOC worked her way through college, like, as a bartender, all of a sudden that makes her unqualified. Right-wingers are very, very strange.
hug you.
Oh, no!
Awesome. Thank you so
Wouldn't it be funny if this was the moment one of them gave the other one COVID?
much for everything. Thank you. As you guys noticed, I got hands put on me, a couple people trying to touch the camera or whatever. That's why I have these guys. They handled it very well. The only way I can get them is if you support me at patreon.com/Caitlin Bennett, even just $5 a month. That's where your money goes, and I'm proving it right here. Promises made, promises kept. Patreon.com/Caitlin Bennett. Thank you for your support. Go to libertyhangout.tv.
Good God. Caitlin is not my favorite person, let's put it that way. What's up on her Parler account? What do you think, guys? Do I have to sign up for Parler to see Parler? Oh, I'm not signing up for a Parler account. No, thank you. What's her Patreon up to? This is going to be depressing. Not publicly available, but 967 patrons. Jesus Christ. Speaking of patrons, you can always donate to my Patreon, patreon.com/HannahReloaded. We had our first patron-only live stream yesterday, and it was fun. Daddy Sume did his only Rickroll of the year that he is allowed on the live stream, for those who missed it. So, good times. That's Caitlin for the day. I don't know. Embarrassing, as usual. What else do you want me to say? God, why is all the quality on these so bad? Yeah, it was funny. The Rickroll thing, for some reason, oh look, Daddy Sume's here. I was talking about you. Daddy Sume wasted the Rickroll yesterday because he didn't think it counted because it wasn't on Twitch. It counted. I'm sorry, Daddy Sume. Daddy Sume says, hey everyone, I've officially got a diagnosis of PTSD. My romantic relationships are crumbling and my anxiety attacks are getting worse. I'm great. I hope you're all doing well. I'm sorry, Daddy Sume. I hope you'll be doing better soon. Antipodian Squid with 50 bits. I had a lot of fun on the patron-only live stream. Wanted to let you know it was good just to hang out. Yeah. If he does it again, what happens? Probably demodded? Or at least strike 2. He already has 1 strike. Let me see. I gotta do bits messages. Profane Priestess says, why does this song open talking about the billionaire lifestyle he gave up? What kind of lifestyle do they think the president lives? Newmanogs with 100 bits says, sorry, can't stay for the rest of the stream. Hope you all have fun. Staying quiet now with 20 bits. Hold on. Okay. Calm down, guys. Staying quiet now. No, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I will keep staying quiet. That's my name. Screw you. Tucker White says, I don't understand why anyone would get angry over being kicked off Twitter. I'd be celebrating getting banned because Twitter is a hellhole. She wants to be a victim so bad. Tucker White says, where are these progressive Democrats pushing progressive policies? All I see are corporate apologists. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits. No one wants to spear you, Marjorie. You're revolting. Maquilinity says, these people are the worst. Doodleburb says, I didn't want to be in charge of nurturing of young minds anyway. Their loss. They'll never hear about the Jewish space lasers in school. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits says, I've been on Zoom meetings for uni where 1 or 2 people are in masks because they're in the library or other more public study places. Pyromancer says, only the Republicans, though. Gary Fink 17, thanks for following. Stephen J. Neptune Man with 26 bits. I was in an online argument a couple of weeks ago where this dude kept trying to convince me that Fox News was the underdog. Quote, conservatives have 1 network, liberals have 12. They're the underdog. Miss K's, thanks for resubscribing for 9 months. I think we already named that one when it happened. Cryptid Deity with 20 bits. In happier news, the game Star Stable Online introduced MLM sentient horses in the last Wednesday's update. Their names are Juniper and Rocco, and they are precious. That's good. Tucker White says, I think bombing 9 different countries in the Middle East and overthrowing democratically elected leaders to install fascist puppets is worse than abortion. Sure. Pyromancer, our government that I'm a part of and Trump had control of. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits. Fetuses have been the victims of cancel culture. Stephen J. Neptune Man with 26 bits. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ted Cruz are in a race to see who can be more unlikable. Staying quiet now with 20 bits. Hannah, I will get on that for you. What size shirt do you wear? I think I already said, but XXL in case. I didn't. TNAV with 100 bits says, how is abolishing abortion not cancel culture? Pyromancer, abolish Republicans. Purple Nickel with 100 bits says, I wouldn't mind gender being canceled, just saying. Wind Chanter with 20 bits says, MTG looks like she ate a store manager's still beating heart to gain his power. Daddy Sume, thanks for the 20 bits, and I read that. 7 of Cube, thanks for following. FYI, here's a list of people Marjorie Taylor Greene actually works for. Let me see if I can get that list. That XY Girl says, haha, I am your patron. Pyromancer56 says, patron stream was fun. B Silver 94, thanks for resubscribing with a 2-month streak. All caught up. Beautiful. So these are donors to Marjorie Taylor Greene. House Freedom Fund. Let's see what House Freedom Fund. The top recipients are Scott Perry, Chip Roy, Ted Budd, Jim Jordan, Kim Coleman, Yvette Harrell, Dan Bishop, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Linda Bennett, and Jean Ives. Is there any description somewhere? I don't see any. Oh, wait. NCIC Inmate Communications. Is that like a company that provides paid for phone calls to inmates in private prisons or even public prisons? Yikes. Jameson Private Wealth Management, Evans Construction. Sure. Interesting.
And our politics lead, a party for the Trump Party. Today, the conference that takes the temperature on the future of the GOP's activist base featured a golden Trump statue, fiery speeches from Trump lackeys, and repetition of the big lie about the election. Just moments ago, Donald Trump Jr.
I missed bits, sorry. How far back was it? Are you sure? I'm going back an hour and I don't see it. If you post it again, I'll read it. You don't have to give more bits messages. I just can't find it in my feed. Republican conservatives give $166,000 to MGT. Retired, 100 real estate, 27,000. General contractors, 26. Sure.
Called it, quote, CPAC. And as Senator Ted Cruz put it,
Donald J. Trump ain't going anywhere.
CNN's Jim Acosta was on the ground at...
Caitlyn has no mother. Rush Limbaugh spat on the wall and she hatched. Oh, God.
CPAC today, where former President Trump is expected to resurrect his false claims in his headline speech this weekend, his first since leaving office, and he filed this report.
Look around this year's Conservative Political Action Conference.
TPAC. That's what it feels like, guys.
And it's clear much of the Republican Party still sees Donald Trump as something of a golden goose that will lead the GOP back to the White House.
I think it's such a bad idea, and he's wearing that mask incredibly wrong. Like, imagine if after 2016, the Democrats ran Hillary again in 2020. How stupid would that be? If they run Trump in 2024, it will go badly. We already had that election. He lost.
He's the greatest president that's lived.
Despite Trump's role in the bloody siege at the Capitol on January...
And every year, year after year, the demographics just get worse for Republicans. It's not going to get any easier to win with someone like Donald Trump.
6th.
If you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
CPAC's chief organizer, Matt Schlapp, handed the former president a prime speaking slot, closing out the conference Sunday.
I like the fact that he wants to stay engaged. Now, you can say that he lost the election, but his supporters, 73 million.
Well, he did lose the election.
You can say that he lost the election, and
he did lose the election.
Yeah, but I'm not quibbling that.
But Schlapp insists Trump shouldn't be held responsible for the deadly insurrection.
He gave a speech, and then there was a violent insurrection at the Capitol. How is that not true?
You simply don't know what you're talking about.
Great. Why don't you put a mask on?
After our interview, some CPAC attendees became irate, many of them refusing to believe Trump incited any violence.
Don't you feel Trump is at all responsible for that?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Do you still believe that Donald Trump won the election?
Yes.
And still believing his big lie that he won the election, a falsehood the former president is expected to repeat this weekend.
No. What did he do? I mean, he's out there doing a rally. I mean, you got a bunch of nutcases going out there.
Trump's presence is overshadowing the other presidential wannabes at the conference, like Senator Ted Cruz, who made light of his trip to Cancun while his constituents were freezing to death in Texas.
I gotta say, Orlando is awesome. It's not as nice as Cancun, but it's nice. In the immortal words of William Wallace, freedom!
This chaotic post-presidency has twisted the GOP into a pretzel.
You're quoting a movie. You know that, right? And yes, I know William Wallace was a real guy, but he didn't say freedom in English
Senate Minority
like
Leader
that.
Mitch McConnell saying he could support another Trump campaign.
Freedom!
Absolutely. Even though he just condemned the former president right after his impeachment trial.
President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day.
And we should note there are sessions at this conference dedicated to advancing Trump's big lie that he won the election. We should also note that Senator Josh Hawley was defending his role and his attempts to overturn the election results. He got a standing ovation for that. And there is some COVID denialism going on at this CPAC this year, Jake. At one point, the organizers urged the audience to remember to put on their masks. Because they did that, some in the crowd actually booed those organizers for just trying to practice some COVID safety. Jake?
I hope you're triple maxing, Jim. Masking, rather. Triple
I am.
masking. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. Jim Acosta in Orlando, thank you so much.
All right. It's time for it's Ted Cruz's CPAC speech. We're going to watch Ted Cruz talk for 17 minutes straight. I'm sorry. I apologize. If you can't handle that, leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, to discuss the Bill of Rights, liberty, and cancel culture, please welcome from the great state of Texas, Senator Ted Cruz.
God bless CPAC.
Oh, God, I'm already in pain. That's loud, too. I'm sorry.
I gotta say, Orlando is awesome. It's not as nice as Cancun.
That was his opening line? That's his opener joke? Hey, guys, remember how I abandoned my constituents during a crisis? Beautiful. If he shit talks AOC during this after she raised millions of dollars for his constituents while he was on a fucking plane with his family going to Mexico, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
But it's nice. And I gotta say, what an amazing array of speakers here at CPAC. For a second there, I thought we were in Des Moines. One took people a minute.
I don't get it.
We are gathered in dark times. We're gathered at a time where the hard left, where the socialists control the levers of government.
Oh, God, I wish. Please, Ted Cruz. I wish this was like a, I don't know, like a Wonder Woman thing. Wonder Woman 1984, but instead, the vision that right-wingers have of the left from CPAC becomes reality.
Where they control the White House, where they control every executive branch, where they control both houses of Congress.
Oh, I guess you guys shouldn't have sucked so bad and ran Donald Trump, one of the least liked presidents in the last 50 years.
Bernie is wearing mittens. And AOC is telling us she was murdered.
Yeah, you were there, Ted. You all almost were killed. People were around trying to kill you. Probably not you, because you supported Trump, but like everyone else. And again, I assume this is on the bingo card, AOC something. Might not be on me. Oh no, I have AOC as a bartender, but I don't have just insulting AOC. I'm going to count that as insulting Bernie, though, the mittens thing, because of the meme.
And the media desperately, desperately, desperately wants to see a Republican Civil War. Liberty is under assault, and what are we going to do? I'll tell you, we will fight.
This is all vacuous. Say something substantive, Ted. What's your plan? You guys lost. You guys lost and then attempted to overthrow the government? What's your plan now, Ted? Freedom! I'm just gonna say the word freedom over and over again.
Listen to William Wallace. And let me tell you, the media here looks at the men and women gathered here, at the young people gathered here, as dangerous radicals.
Being a fascist, I'm not saying every Republican is a fascist, but there's a good chance if you're at CPAC, you're at least friends with fascism, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're dangerous. That's how that worked. We had a whole world war over this, guys.
This is...
You sent me the call sheet? Thank you, Baja. Twitter, I assume? Let me pull it up real quick.
The Rebel Alliance.
Wait, do you guys like Star Wars now, or do you hate it because the Gina Carano thing? I'm confused. Do you like Star Wars, or do you hate Star Wars? Hold on, I'm pulling up the bingo call sheet. There we go. Sweet. Thank you.
And Vader and the Emperor.
Ted, we know exactly what Vader and the Emperor were stand-ins for in Star Wars, and it wasn't the left. It was Nazis. They're fascists. They couldn't be any clearer in the visual identification of fascist visuals than in Darth Vader. Like, have you seen what the... Hold on. Have you literally seen, like, what the goddamn people wear who are part of the Empire? They're not supposed to be liberals. They're fascists. Their main ground troops are literally called stormtroopers, which was what Hitler called his personal guards. Like, the fascist imagery is everywhere. It's not subtle. It's not subtle.
let's be clear, they're not your father, are terrified of the rebels who are here, and I'm proud to tell you, Gina Carano is standing with us.
We're 3 minutes in, Ted. How are you going to win things back? What are your policy positions? So far, you've said, yeah, we lost the election. You made a joke about the fact that you abandoned your constituents. You referenced Braveheart, a movie that I'm not even sure younger people know exists. Gina Carano reference, and shitting on Bernie and AOC. Say something that means something, Ted. What's the plan?
So what do we do? What do we do at a time where...
What's Braveheart? It's a movie that starred Mel Gibson about William Wallace. Braveheart is a 1995 American epic historical fiction war film directed and co-produced by Mel Gibson, who portrays William Wallace, a late 13th century Scottish warrior. The film depicts the life of Wallace leading the Scots in the first war of Scottish independence against King Edward I of England.
Where the hard left is resurgent. Two very simple things. Number one, we defend liberty. Look, are there tensions in our party? Sure. Because we believe in diversity. We believe in individuality.
We believe in diversity. We believe that a white guy with this opinion and a white woman with this other slightly different, more conspiratorial opinion should all be able to get together and make sure trans people don't have rights, okay? We're all for diversity in our ability to put our boots on the necks of people we collectively disagree with.
Different people have different views. We aren't the Borg enforcing... I may have committed a cardinal sin mixing Star Wars and Star Trek.
Oh, he's trying to be so relatable, and I hate it. Hello, fellow kids. Do you like the Star Wars? Do you like the Star Treks? Is a reference to 1980s Star Trek The Next Generation hip enough for you? Do you remember Resistance is Futile, kids? Do you remember that cliffhanger?
That next thing you know, you're going to cross the streams and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's going to come.
Oh, I've also seen Ghostbusters! I remember Ghostbusters! So I like Ted Cruz now! Yay! Star Wars! Ghostbusters! What is he? Ted, we're 4 minutes into this speech! Say anything! Say anything. Say literally anything that means anything.
Just too many terrible references there. We don't believe in uniformity, but I'll tell you what can unite conservatives and libertarians and those who value the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is a love of liberty.
Oh, so I should have the liberty to go and live my life as a trans woman without being impeded? And without being discriminated against for my intrinsic identity? Thanks, guys. I'm sure that's internally consistent with all the other things you support.
And the left, they tell you who they are. Particularly in a global pandemic. As Rahm Emanuel said, you never want to waste a good crisis. And hoo boy, these guys don't.
How dare these people on the left care about the $514,000 dead Americans and countless others who are going to suffer with breathing and other conditions for the rest of their life. Losers.
Don't want to waste it. You see statists in California putting 37 tons of sand in a skate park because ain't nobody having fun.
Yeah, you shouldn't be going to a skate park during a global pandemic. Correct. I'm sure they'll remove the sand once COVID is dealt with.
While the socialists are in charge. We see Bill de Blasio in New York
It would be like if during the Black Death or something, a politician was like, all these, I don't even know what they would be called. All these healers don't want us to go to the public square and interact and drink from the public cistern. But what about my freedoms? Like, that's... And I know the Black Death was spread by fucking fleas on rats, okay? Don't correct me. That's the closest metaphor I could give. You're literally fighting against restrictions to help protect people from dying and being permanently disabled by a respiratory disease.
Sending people in to shut down parks and to throw young Orthodox Jewish kids out of the parks because, God forbid...
The fact that they are Jewish or Orthodox Jewish has nothing to do with them not being allowed in the parks. How disingenuous.
Children have fun. We see leftists across the country shutting down churches.
They're shutting down all places of public accommodation where people gather in large amounts in close quarters. It's not about it being religious. You can have religious services online, or, God forbid, have them in your own home, privately, because even Jesus said, like, those who worship in public for others to see them pray are hypocrites.
California, they've helpfully explained. You can go out and protest. You can scream and yell, abolish the police. And this virus, magically, no one will get infected.
Protesters were wearing masks, which serves a dual purpose, honestly. I guess people on the 6th didn't figure that one out. But anyway, they were wearing masks and all that jazz.
You can French kiss the guy next to you, yelling, abolish the police.
Hot.
And no one...
Is that just a straight up gay joke, by the way? Is that just supposed to be a, haha, the left has gay people who exist? It's 2021 and the Republican Party still finds the existence of homosexuals to be a hilarious punchline.
One will get infected. But if you go to church and say Amazing Grace,
you're in a confined building next to a bunch of other people directly, like, adjacent to you, and you're in a closed space, not outside. Do you not understand how, like, airflow works? Do you not understand that, like, if something is an airborne disease and you're in a closed space, you're going to be more likely to catch that than if you're, like, outside, distance from people, wearing masks?
everyone's going to die. By the way, how many of y'all have eaten at a restaurant in the last 6 months?
How many of you are idiots who are prolonging this for everyone else? Woo! I don't care about other people's safety.
Can I just stop and say how strange the rules are right now? I want to understand how this virus works. So when you walk in, you got to put your mask on. Sadly, I've got two. You walk in, you got to put your mask on. You sit down, you take your mask off.
Yeah, restaurants shouldn't be open at all. You shouldn't be going to restaurants. I agree. The problem is you think we should just not do anything, whereas really the solution is restaurants should still be closed.
See, apparently the virus is actually connected to elevation.
No, right-wingers like you idiots demanded restaurants get opened, so they did, in a really stupid way. They should be closed.
No, remember, this is all about science. It's actually, it may not be elevation. I think it's that there are hormones that are released in your thighs when you're sitting. So you can sit at the table and there's no virus being transmitted.
No, there is. Don't go to restaurants, please. Please don't go to a restaurant. Order takeout if you must.
But if you stand up, put the mask on! And listen, let's be clear, this is a dangerous virus.
I just joked about it, but let's be clear, it's dangerous. Sorry, 500,000 people are dead. Whoopsie.
But these collectivist statists, okay, now they're saying everybody can get immunized. We can have herd immunity everywhere, and we're going to wear masks for the next 300 years.
No. No one is saying that.
And by the way, not just one mask. 2, 3, 4. You can't have too many masks. How much virtue do you want to signal?
I would like to keep respiratory diseases out of my body. Thank you. I don't even think you can see when people are wearing multiple masks anyway. Usually I've seen like guides for people to wear multiple masks. It's like one of the thinner paper type ones, and then they wear a cloth mask over it. I've seen it. It doesn't look like I've seen it online when people do it. If I wasn't paying attention, I wouldn't even notice people were wearing multiple masks. I care if people are wearing masks, but I don't care how many masks they wear if they're wearing them, as long as they're wearing them.
This is just dumb.
All health professionals agree virtually that this is good, and measures we're taking are good and even not enough. And Ted Cruz's response to all doctors is, "This is dumb though." Cool.
You know, the U.S.
Oh yeah, Melissa, my electrologist, apparently wears too. I didn't even notice.
Capitol has giant fences with razor wires and 5,000 National Guards standing out front.
Yeah, because you guys tried to do an insurrection. You tried to kill Congress. That'll happen when you do a terrorism in Washington, D.C.
Because the Democrats are convinced.
This would be like if Ted Cruz went into some restaurant and shit on the floor, and then the next day he came back and there was a sign up that said, "No shitting on the floor." And he went, "Why is this no shitting on the floor sign up? All these liberal elites telling us not to shit on the floor. What's that sign for?" Well, Ted, you shit on the floor yesterday. Thus requiring the sign. We had to take measures to prevent further shits. In this case, the shit being insurrection attempts.
That political theater helps them. Let's be clear, this is not about security at this point. This is about political theater. Half the country, the deplorables, are dangerous.
You are.
And they're going to turn the Capitol into a military outpost in Baghdad just to have their compliant media echo that message.
Or, how about this? Y'all committed terrorism like 2 months ago, less than 2 months actually. We're still 5 days away from it being 2 months. Y'all committed a terrorist attack on Congress, the likes of which has never been seen in the United States. That'll do it.
But do you know what terrifies every one of these statists?
Ooh. Let me see. What terrifies statists? Lack of health care. The military-industrial complex. Children going hungry and having lunch debt. John Doyle's face. Kenneth Copeland.
The truth.
I don't have a response to this. Enjoy this ASMR in lieu of a response to that incredibly ironic statement.
Liberty's powerful. Liberty's persuasive. Liberty is fun. You know, last week, we lost the great Rush Limbaugh.
Bingo card, bingo card, bingo card. Rush Limbaugh.
I was so blessed and so fortunate to call Rush a friend. And Rush understood the power of liberty. You know, before there was Hannity, before there was Tucker, before there was Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder, before there was Donald Trump, there was Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, I want to vomit. Ugh.
And before there was Section 230, there was something called the Fairness Doctrine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Reagan did away with the Fairness Doctrine, guys.
Which gave leftists in Washington the power to silence views they didn't like. We got rid of the Fairness Doctrine, and Rush Limbaugh started by going on 1 a.m.
The Fairness Doctrine basically said your news needs to be, like, nonpartisan. Your broadcast needs to be nonpartisan, and then Reagan and his cabinet and everyone, they did away with it, which led the way for, like, Rush Limbaugh and Fox News, and basically put us in the situation we're in now. Fox News probably would have happened regardless, because the Fairness Doctrine, at least as far as I understand, only applied to broadcast and not stuff like cable, but still, no bueno.
Station. And then a second AM station, and then a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth, and the voice of liberty spread like prairie fire.
Guys, remember when Rush Limbaugh would, in a funny segment, make fun of people who were dying of AIDS, and he would, like, play their names with music over it to be like, haha, isn't it funny that LGBT people die of AIDS? Let's celebrate him here at this political event, though. That's great.
And let me tell you right now, in Los Angeles, there's some skater kid who's 19, who's told that it's hip and chic and cool to be a leftist socialist man.
That's how this works, by the way. Hey, did you guys know it's cool to be a leftist socialist man? I definitely do. Hold on, I gotta get my cool glasses. I'll use these. This'll work. Because we gotta live in a transhumanist, cyberpunk, cool future, right? That's what we're going for? Hey, fellow kids! Welcome to the future! Do you want to be cool? Become a leftist. You dig? Also, healthcare. We'll give you healthcare and college. So please stop voting for Republicans so we can end this nightmare.
Who's going to hear a message? Wait a second. These guys don't want me to speak, think, have fun, do what I want to do?
Leftists traditionally have no fun, which is why I'm very serious all the time.
The message of liberty is profoundly subversive. The left believes in rigid conformity. We believe in diversity, free speech. You can say whatever you want, no matter.
You have free speech, but Twitter's a private platform.
No matter how dumb it is. And by the way, in Washington, D.C., we test that proposition.
The irony of Ted Cruz saying that is pretty palpable.
Religious liberty, you can worship however you like on your knees before Almighty God.
That's pretty specific to the Christian God, isn't it? You also have the right to not worship, or worship different gods, or worship your God if you believe, like, Allah, that version of, like, the Yahweh God is God.
Or you can worship the almighty dollar.
Ew.
Or you can worship, I don't know, pink Martians. That's the beauty of freedom, the Second Amendment. Oh, the left hates the Second Amendment.
I've said before, I'm fine with guns. I'm also fine with, like, reforming background checks so it's all in computer systems, easily accessible, so those can get done quicker. and honestly more effectively. Universal background checks in one database, and like restrictions on like mag size and stuff, but like I don't care. Own guns if you want.
Because they want their people docile and compliant. You know,
not really.
When we saw riots all across the country.
Is that docile and compliant then? Doesn't that just fly in the face of what you just said?
I remember there were reports that riots were going to come into suburban, mostly peaceful, fiery but mostly peaceful.
Do you know what
there
mostly
were reports
means?
Riots were going to come into the suburbs. I got to tell you, in Houston, where I live, there weren't any rioters. Because let's be very clear.
There weren't any rioters in any suburbs.
If there had been, they would discover what the state of Texas thinks about the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
Haha, we're gonna shoot people. Yay.
So defend liberty. But number two, have fun. Have fun. You know, so many on the right, they act like they got a stick inserted somewhere it doesn't belong. Like, just lighten up. Especially now, the left, they are shrill. They are angry.
Yeah, stop being shitbags.
How many leftists does it take to screw in a light bulb? That's not funny!
I was actually anticipating the joke. Don't get me wrong, conservatives usually aren't funny because they don't have a good sense of humor, but whatevs.
Like, God bless! Who would want to be around these people? You know, Jerry Seinfeld doesn't tell comedy anymore because any joke that's funny is canceled.
I mean, Jerry Seinfeld hasn't been funny since B-Movie, so I think that's more on him. The audience doesn't think my material is funny anymore. Is this cancel culture? Maybe get better material, Jerry? Jesus fucking Christ.
You know, SNL is unwatchable. The late night comedy, they stand up and say, we hate Donald Trump. Yeah, no kidding. We didn't get that the last 9,000 times you told that.
I mean, Donald Trump should have probably stopped doing dumb things every single week then. I get it. The commentary that SNL just isn't funny anymore has been a running joke since, like, the 80s. As it turns out, most of Saturday Night Live just isn't all that funny. It's just that there are some bits that once you get it, they get it very right, and it's very funny.
You know, in 2020, the New York Times reported that 60% of women named Karen voted for Joe Biden. That's actually real. You can look it up, the fact checkers. That's what the New York Times reported. And I'm willing to bet 80% of the men named Karen voted for Joe Biden.
This transphobic joke on here somewhere. One sec. I'm gonna say that falls under two genders, it's science. It's probably close enough. That one gets the applause. Boy, they really, really don't like trans people.
Just have fun. You know, yeah.
When your definition of fun is making fun of other people for existing, your fun kind of fucking sucks, dude.
Yesterday, John Boehner made some news. He suggested that I do something that was anatomically impossible. To which my response was...
I think he told him to, like, stick his head up his butt or something.
...was, who's John Boehner? And you know what? There are a whole lot of voices in Washington that want to just erase the last 4 years. Want to go back to the world before where we
That'd be pretty rad. Please back off the fascism. I'd really appreciate it.
had government of the lobbyists, by the lobbyists, and for the lobbyists.
You're still doing that. You're just doing it while also being fashy. That's not good.
Where the Republicans' compelling message was, Republicans, we waste less.
As opposed to this whole speech where you said nothing and had no policy positions other than vacuous pap about freedoms and liberty, which mean nothing, really? Anyone can go and talk about, like, I love freedom. Okay, what does that mean specifically? We all believe in freedom. Now, what are you saying specifically when you say that? You just don't want public health policy to exist. That's not cool.
And they look at Donald J. Trump and they look at the millions and millions of people inspired who went to battle fighting alongside President Trump, and they're terrified.
Yeah, fascist coups are pretty scary, as it turns out.
And they want him to go away. Let me tell you this right now, Donald J. Trump ain't going anywhere.
I mean, I don't think he has a ton of say in that. He's incredibly out of shape and old, so we'll see if he's still around by 2024. I'm pretty 50-50 on it at this point, to be entirely honest. Yeah, Donald Trump did call this guy's wife ugly.
And the Republican Party is not the party just of the country clubs. The Republican Party is the party of steel workers and construction workers and pipeline workers.
As long as you're not in a union, then fuck off.
Taxi cab drivers and cops and firefighters and waiters and waitresses and the men and women with calluses on their hands who are working for this country. That is our party.
But also, let's make fun of AOC for being a bartender at one point.
And these deplorables are here to stay. Every one of you has a platform. Every one of you has a voice. The corporate media wants to silence these voices.
Not really. How is the corporate media gonna silence you? If you get banned from Twitter for spreading a conspiracy theory, I don't feel bad. Your free speech hasn't been removed in any way, shape, or form. You got kicked. You basically got kicked out of a Walmart for screaming about tinfoil hat stuff. It's the same thing, just in the online space.
You have a platform. You know, last year I launched a podcast.
Ted Cruz has a podcast? Oh, God, that sounds insufferable.
Ted Cruz, over
I want to hear, honestly, I want to hear more of his spicy Star Wars takes from Ted Cruz.
25 million downloads in a year. By the way, please go subscribe. Verdict with Ted Cruz, Verdict with Ted Cruz. Click on subscribe, 5 stars, please. But you know what? You have the same platform. You have social media. You have your friends, your neighbors, your family, your classmates. Speak out for freedom. Because I'm going to close with these words of encouragement. These are dark days, and the media tells us this is the new galactic empire forever and 1,000 years. But
what are you talking about?
Already Joe Biden and the radicals in his administration, they are already overshooting. They are already...
The radicals in Joe Biden's administration, oh Lord.
Going too far. Their policies don't work.
They're going too far by what? What have they done so far that's going too far? They've not gone far enough. What are you talking about?
Disasters, they are bad.
Yeah, that should count as radical liberals. I agree.
They are destroying jobs, they are stripping our freedom, and there is...
In what way are they destroying jobs? In what way are they destroying your freedoms? What have they done?
is a natural pendulum to politics, and the country will come back to sanity, and mark my words, 2022.
Imagine describing Donald Trump-type Republican politics as, like, normalcy or rationality or ridiculous.
Is going to be a fantastic election year, and so is 2024, as we stand together and defend liberty, defend the Constitution, defend the Bill of Rights of every American. In the immortal words of William Wallace, freedom!
That one hurt. I'm not gonna lie. That one hurt pretty bad. Ted Cruz literally said nothing. It was a 17-minute speech in which he said nothing. I don't even think I could do that. And I'm like the queen of speaking vacuously. How do you speak for 17 minutes and say nothing? That's amazing. I guess Ted Cruz isn't talentless. And he does have a podcast. I guess we should check out that podcast on stream sometime, guys. Wouldn't that be fun? Jesus. Let's do some bit messages, and then we'll probably do Trump Jr.'s speech, which is thankfully shorter. It's only 12 minutes long. Daddy Sume says Ted is never going to win ever. I don't know about that one. Doodlebird with 100 bits. Pyromancer says Mr. Cancun. Marcus Drake with 100 bits says, I don't know if you saw, but Cruz's old professor gave a short interview shitting on him and Howley. I didn't see that. Pyromancer says, oh no, it's that long. But see, we got through it together like we always do. Wind Chanter, I request a cleanse at the 7-minute mark. We can do a cleanse before the Don Jr. thing. Oh god, we're almost already at 2 hours. Jesus Christ. Doodlebird with 100 bits says, alcohol at the ready. Let's do this. Purple Nickel with 100 bits. You're not sorry, Hannah. You delight in torturing us. A little bit. Only a little bit, though. Antipodian Squid says, I hate it already, but thankfully I have the sweet release of a schedule to maintain. Lol, I'll see you later, maybe. Love your face, Hannah. Thanks, Squid. Pyromancer with 20 bits. How can he stand up like that without a spine? Nike Young, thanks for following. Enlid with 20 bits says caucus reference, maybe. Okay, sure. Doodleburb with 100 bits says, also, why did he stuff himself into that suit? Can he breathe in that thing? Crizio with 50 bits. Does this count as Biden-Harris are communists? Not quite. That Tucker White 94 with 20 bits says, even if you're a dyed-in-the-wool conservative, though I doubt anyone here is, how could you watch this pageant and think mainstream GOP actually cares about anything affecting you? Hell, even my own staunchly Republican father would have looked at this and been disgusted by it. That one guy, 9102, thank you for following. Ghetto Kanye with 20 bits says, can we put yelling for no reason because of the freedom screaming? Was yelling for no reason on the card? I don't know if I have it. But if you have it, yes. Yeah, I'm going to say that counts. Pyromancer with 20 bits says, freedom, spelled F-R-E-E-D-U-M-B. Stephen J. Neptune Man, Ted Cruz makes me ashamed to like The Simpsons, Ghostbusters, Star Wars, and Star Trek. Ghetto Kanye with 20 bits says, remove the sand in the skate park. Ted needs to do a sick kickflip and hopefully ollie into a presidential role. Pyromancer with 56 bits says, the party of the eternally persecuted. Profane Priestess with 20 bits says, historian here, the fleas carried it, but the bigger vector was actually probably lice in clothes, hair, moving blood from person to person at a faster speeds than the rats could. Oh, interesting. I guess I always thought it was, or I had remembered it being said that it was fleas on rats, but lice makes sense. Pyromancer says, CPAC equals conservative perform abysmal comedy. Marcus Drake says, fun fact, lawyers are now medical doctors. Checkmate, nurses. Tucker White, oh god, this is insufferable. Here's a much needed cleanse. Which was 19 minutes ago, so it's a bit up in chat. A gif of a kitty? Sure. Oh, so cute. Stephen J. Neptune Man, a politician name-dropped Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro. What kind of country are we living in? One that's falling apart. Midoriaguin something. Thank you for resubscribing with a 3-month streak. Says happy 3 months. Freaking out with a link. Ghetto Kanye with 20 bits. Link to that cleanse. Thank you. Yeah, Antifa violence got mentioned, yes. The Ender 92, thank you for resubscribing for 8 months in a row, 9 total, says 9 months. What's our stream baby's name? Don't let the turd and a mullet on screen influence your opinion. Let's go with Christopher. No, I'm trying to do more women's names. Angela Lansbury is the name of that stream baby. Tucker White 94 says, "Hey Ted, do you have a giant screen for all this projection?" Freaking Out 99 says, "Didn't Ted try to ban sex toys at some point? Did he? I know he got caught watching porn." Pyromancer says, waitresses, not just AOC. Tucker White says, "Yes, stand and applaud this vacuous speech, audience, and you wonder why leftists call you mindless sheep." Windchanter says, "This has been the best Seinfeld episode in years. If you want to watch it, here it is," says Marcus Drake. Let me see if I can find that. A random topic. Thank you for following. Mike Max 321 with 20 bits says, "Was the wall mentioned?" No. Lily Love Stuff with 25 bits says, "Didn't get a notification. Rip." And after that says, "Porn on 9/11, the greatest contribution Ted Cruz made to society." Was that on 9/11? Like a 9/11 anniversary? We can go over the bingos, sure. Oh shoot, didn't mean to do that. Antifa violence, yelling for no reason. Cheney insults. Insult Bernie. Rush Limbaugh. Two genders at science. I think that's it. What do I have in mind? And then I'll move on. Okay. Oh yeah, I said we'd do a cleanse, didn't I? Damn it. Cute. All right. It's time for Don Jr.'s speech. This is going to be bad. And we just watched Ted Cruz, so the bar is pretty low. Let's find out how much lower it can go.
How's it going, CPAC? Or I heard someone earlier phrase it a little bit better. T-PAC.
Oh god, this piece of shit's gonna run for president and he's gonna get the nomination. I'm calling it now. I don't know if it'll be in 2024 or 2028. This piece of shit's running and he's gonna win the nomination.
That's what it feels like, guys. Well, first and foremost, it's awesome to be here. It's great to see this kind of enthusiasm, and it's great to actually be in a full room.
You know,
Oh, isn't it great to be in a room full of people during a global pandemic? It's beautiful.
honestly, guys, what I see in Florida right now is exemplary of the Republican Party, right? This is a state, like the party is, that has open schools, open businesses, and open churches. What we've seen in some of the more left-leaning states is exactly the opposite. The only thing that they have open is open borders.
What are you talking about? You know, New York with its open border policy.
And it doesn't work, guys. In the first
That's immigrant fear-mongering, by the way, on the bingo card. Okay.
30 days of Joe Biden's presidency, all of the things that I said would come true in the book Liberal Privilege that I wrote last...
Is he starting to sound more like his dad? Is he, like, trying to take on more... And I know he's his son, so of course he's... It sounds like he's almost trying to adopt more of the affect of how Trump speaks. Like, almost intentionally, because he's probably going to try and run in 2024 or 28, and he wants to foster an image that he's basically just young Donald Trump.
Last summer are happening. We listened to months of media telling us that Joe Biden, he's a moderate, don't worry.
He is. He is. And that was a reason for me to worry, but I voted for him regardless, because he's still the better option than Donald Trump. But yeah, he's done some pretty bullshit things, like the bombing thing that happened recently, the not really pushing hard enough for, like, the $50,000 debt thing for student debt. Yeah, because he's a centrist.
He's not going to end energy. He's not going to end pipelines, which is partially correct. He's not going to end Russian pipelines.
He doesn't have the power to do that? Are you talking about pipelines on American soil? I don't know anything about that, but I do know about the access to the one pipeline that was going over, like, indigenous land got canceled, and that's a good thing.
He's only going to end American pipelines. The Russian ones are just fine.
Oh, that's Russia fear-mongering on here, too. I don't know if I have that. I think it's on, what is it? China-Russia fear-mongering, if you have that on the bingo card. And green energy fear-mongering, true. I think this is someone's gonna get bingo on this one.
They're going to cave to China. No, that was never going to happen. Of course it happened.
In what way?
You think that billion-dollar investment in Hunter came for free? No, the Chinese have a great return on investment. But guys,
we didn't get 1350 yet.
More importantly, who would have thought that within 33 days we'd be bombing the Middle East again?
Donald Trump also did that, like, a couple times. He also did that. Your dad did that too. He not only assassinated a specific, like, Iranian general, but also he bombed an airfield. Like, Donald Trump bombed the Middle East also, you know that, right? And drone strikes were still a thing under Donald Trump.
I would have. Oh no, guys, come on, the military-industrial complex.
By the way, I'm not saying that's okay. It's still bad, but it's hypocritical for him to say it. I think it's bad, whoever's doing it.
I'm surprised it took them 33 days. I guess they waited till the first month, so they couldn't say that was part of the first 30, but it was only shortly thereafter where we started bombing the Middle East. Speaking of bombing the Middle East, have you seen Liz Cheney's poll numbers?
Corn Dog Calvary got a bingo. You want to send me your card? Just, like, you know, copy paste the address. Green energy firmer, yelling, radical liberal, China. Yeah. Yep. Can I give you a thing? You already have one. Okay, I'll write your name down, or if you want me to gift that to someone, let me know. I gotta find my thing to write it down, though. Where did I put my pen? There it is. Just let me know when you want that. Whenever your sub's up or whatever. So that's the bingo winner for today. We can continue playing for fun, though.
No, listen. The one thing I'll say for Liz Cheney is I'm sure she has a lot of bipartisan support, because if there's one thing that she and Joe Biden definitely want to do, it's bomb the Middle East. Everything else is a disaster. Everything else is just rhino policies, the kinds of policies that put the Republican Party in a position where they needed a Donald Trump. No, seriously. Liz Cheney and her politics are only slightly less popular than her father is at a quail hunt.
That one got me. I hate Dick Cheney anyway, which helps, but damn. Don definitely didn't write that, though. He had someone write that joke for him. Someone probably wrote the whole speech, but you know what I mean.
What? Fact checkers, please have at it.
They really, really hate when people check the things they're saying against reality.
Fact check true. Right? Listen, like I said...
Oh, that wasn't very good timing on that. Okay.
Liz Cheney, she hates Donald Trump and his policies because her family has a long history of friendly fire.
That's just the same joke again. Okay, look, you get a pass on the first one, even though it's an old reference. Like, literally, that happened when I was in elementary school, and I'm a homeowner now. That happened, I think, when I was in 5th grade. So that joke's old, but it was shocking enough coming from him that it made me laugh, right? But you can't just tell the same joke twice in a row, slightly differently, and expect the same number of laughs.
But she also hates them because she's tied to an establishment that has done nothing but fail us time and time again. You've heard the rhetoric from some of them over the last couple weeks, and now you've seen that change very quickly. Because if there's one thing the Republican Party has been really good at over the last few decades, it's snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. They've caved to every special interest. They've caved to corporate America.
He's gesticulating very similarly, too. It's interesting.
They've caved and bowed to the radical left that hates their guts, hates their values, and hates their freedoms. Lincoln Project Liz, as I'd like to call her.
And he's trying to do the Donald Trump thing of, like, giving people little snappy nicknames.
Is the leader of that failed movement. And if we want to go back to losing, if we want to go back to an America Last policy...
I know. I would love to know what radical left policy any Republican is caving to.
We should be following that. But I don't, and I don't think anyone in this room does either. So, you know what, guys? The first 30 days has been a disaster.
Not really. There are things I'm disappointed about, but so far it's been okay. It's basically what I expected.
Lies the media told you wouldn't happen are all happening. But hey, at least they have a diverse cabinet. Right? No, yeah, it's very diverse. That's what we saw, right? What is the policy of the SBA? Well, first and foremost, we appointed a woman. Well, that's wonderful. Is she competent? Because there's competent women and there's incompetent women, just like there's competent men and incompetent men. We've seen
If there's anything Don Jr. knows, it's incompetent men.
that. We know that to be a fact. But when you don't have policy to address the incompetence and think you can get away with it by just talking about diversity blindly.
Donald Trump's policy on COVID initially was one day it'll just magically go away. Don't worry about it. Are we really criticizing policy here?
Sort of a problem, isn't it? This month alone, they've banned the Muppets.
No, they didn't. That's a literal lie. They put a disclaimer on a few episodes of the Muppets on Disney+. They did the opposite of ban them. They put the Muppet Show on Disney+. Every episode sans, I think, 2, and that wasn't for content reasons, like it was considered inappropriate or whatever. It was because of licensing issues with the music. So no, the Muppets is currently available. I watched some episodes the other day. What are you talking about? Is he going to mention the potato head thing? Is he going to mention the potato head? Yeah, did you know the Biden administration is in charge of Disney Plus, by the way? He had a call on that, I guess.
Right? I mean, if there's things that you thought were sort of above cancellation, you would be wrong.
It's funny, too, because Jim Henson would fucking hate Donald Trump and Don Jr. if he was alive.
There is nothing the radical left won't cancel. Hasbro now wants a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head.
That's also not what happened. We went over that the other day. They're changing the toy line name just to Potato Head because they sell different kinds of potato heads. They sell Mr. Potato Heads. They sell Mrs. Potato Heads. They sell baby potato heads. They have pet potato heads. They're changing the brand name to just Potato Head so it's more recognizable as all the things. And then Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are still things within that. So again, you're 0 for 2 on examples of cancel culture or whatever you think like the leftist agenda is here. We just want health care. I don't really give a shit about like performative wokeness in the media.
These are the issues of our times, folks. I mean, if Hasbro really wanted a gender-neutral Mr. Potato Head so badly, they should just slap a picture of CNN's Brian Sletler on the cover of their next potato.
Don't you love that politics has just become a Comedy Central roast?
What? They don't call him Mr. Potato Head for nothing. I mean, you know, we might as well get something out of the branding. But guys, we can talk about all of these things. We can talk about the liberal hypocrisy, liberal privilege. Just look at how
privilege exists now. Systematic privilege does in fact exist, but it only belongs to liberals. Interesting. Rublum, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community.
In 33 days, children in cages turned into migrant shelters for children.
This is interesting too, because actually the new shelters, I think, were put in place and were going to open even before Joe Biden. The new facilities, which I still think are stupid, and I think the whole policy thing is terrible, but I'll show you. Hold on. Migrant children facilities. Interestingly, it's a case of the Biden administration taking credit for something that they didn't do. Hold on, let me find it. Let me see if I can find pictures of the interior of the facility. Like, this facility started construction under Trump, and as you can see, it's like way better than the stuff we were seeing previously. Still not good. The whole fucking immigration policy is fucked beyond belief, and I'm still disgusted by all of this. But it's interesting that this was actually, I think, being constructed under Donald Trump, and then this opens, and the media says, like, it opens under Biden, and they are being disingenuous when they say that, because I don't think he planned these or anything. He might be expanding them. But, like, it's still kids being fucking detained. Like, it's not cool. I agree. But I find it interesting that Don is criticizing this based on a policy decision that I think Trump made.
Now, mind you, nothing actually changed. If you look at the pictures, there's nice bars on the walls. Nothing changed other than the media's outlook. Where is the outrage about this? Where is the outrage?
A lot of people, especially in my Twitter sphere, including myself, are still pretty goddamn outraged. So...
about an asinine immigration policy that is encouraging people to bring children, unaccompanied and otherwise, into a country. Guess who gets hurt? Our low-wage earners, who for the first time in modern history...
You know, all these immigrant children that are competing for jobs with you? What?
Under Donald Trump, started seeing real wage growth.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if we can play spot the person who isn't white in the crowd. White, 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 white. Maybe? White, 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 white. White, 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 white. White, white, white. It's like, where's Waldo? But there might not be a Waldo.
We see it time and time again. There's a double standard by which we live, but when you look at what's going on, if people were informed of the actual facts, rather than spoon-fed a narrative by big tech and the mainstream media...
We want to spoon-feed them our own narrative about cancel culture because we have no policy positions, so the culture war is the only thing we have left. It's the only thing we've had for decades.
We wouldn't be in these things. There was a poll that came out just this week that said 1 in 6 people would not have voted for Biden had they known about the Hunter Biden scandal.
The Hunter Biden scandal isn't a fucking thing. We've discussed this on the show before.
Yeah, where is Hunter?
Based on the size of that, what's in that dude's pants, he's probably out getting hella laid.
Guys, I'm sure he's making billions in China right now. Don't worry. Don't worry. One in 6, guys. 17% of the 80 million that voted for Joe Biden wouldn't had they.
Oh, what's that on the bingo card? He did an air quotes over 80 million. I think it was 81 million, by the way. Okay, we don't have a general... No, because he didn't say illegal or dead voter, so that doesn't count for either.
Even heard of the basics of his corruption. We were all talking about it, guys. It wasn't anything new, but that also shouldn't surprise us. We've been talking about Andrew Cuomo sentencing Nana to death for 10 months.
And like that Nana thing, it sounds so Trump. Nana. Nana. Very Trump.
But no one was going to talk about it until they got their wishes. No one was going to address Democrat incompetence. We believe all women until they accuse a Democrat. Then...
That's completely untrue. He's getting, like, shit-canned right now. Like, he's getting investigated, which is good. Fuck him.
Not so much. But guys, that's why we have to stay engaged. That's why we have to stay in the fight. That's why we can't allow them to steamroll us like they have done for decades. When you look at what's going on just this week in Congress, you have Democrats petitioning major corporations, Comcast, Amazon, to ban conservative news outlets.
That would be funny as fuck. I don't think it'll happen because that's a huge cash cow for cable, which is already a dying industry. But that would be incredibly funny.
Not radical parties. Fox News. Newsmax.
Yeah, Fox helped radicalize, and Newsmax definitely is. Even if they didn't get Fox News, Newsmax and One America News, they're trash. They're straight up propaganda.
OAN, just ban them. You don't see Republicans saying, let's talk about CNN as a place of disinformation.
What? You guys literally do that all the time. What are you talking about? Your fucking dad rose to power on catchphrases like fake news. What the shit? What the fuck? How could he say that and expect people not to go, we were all there. No. What are you talking about?
I mean, as a recipient of their ire for a couple of years, I can assure you that they were lying about Russia collusion. We all know that now, but
No, they weren't. No, they weren't.
No one actually brings it up because they can get away with it. They are able to do that. Big tech will silence you if you come out against it. They will crush you. They will call you racist and everything else, just like...
I mean, don't be a fucking racist then, but if you want to break up big tech companies, Google and Amazon, get on it. Please do. And then we can start with Disney and maybe Verizon, and let's just go on a spree. Let's just bust all the big corporations up into a bunch of small ones. That'd be good.
Imagine...
Oh yeah, he's trying real hard to get people geared up for a 2024 run, you can tell.
We'll bring back Cuomo, right?
Comcast.
Imagine Ron DeSantis did what Cuomo has done over the last couple of years. He wouldn't be getting an Emmy. He'd be in jail.
Remember that time Republicans had a sex offender, like a literal pedophile, Roy Moore, on one of their tickets? And he got a decent amount of the vote?
Right? Credible accusations of harassment swept under the rug. Verbal harassment swept under the rug. Hiding evidence from the DOJ swept under the rug. No problem. Give him an Emmy. Remember Fredo when he was talking about it? Oh, for months? Oh, where's Fredo? He's so quiet these days. Why isn't Fredo talking about these things right now? Again, liberal brothers, no, we can't address that. Really? You can't address that, but you had no problem joking around with massive Q-tips, making clowns of yourselves for months prior. That's what we're up against, folks. But together, we can win these fights. We have to be vocal. We can't be put in the corner. We must be out and engaged. And that's where you guys come in. So, I'm looking forward to Sunday. I imagine it will not be what we call a low-energy speech. And I assure you that it will solidify Donald Trump and all of your feelings about the MAGA movement as the future of the Republican Party. So thank you, CPAC. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. You guys are the best.
The United States is very screwed. I'm pretty positive about that at this point. What are you gonna do? And, sorry, I'm getting to bit messages. Oh god, this is gonna be even more vacuous than Ted Cruz. It basically was. There were more insults. It was more like a stand-up bit. One of my puppeteer friends made one of those frogs for fun, and then it was a TikTok. Let me see if I can go back and find the link. Yeah, I can't go back far enough for the link. If you want to post it again, I'll check it out, though. Sorry, I wish in the feed that I could click on it, but, like, I don't know if... I should show you guys, just because it's probably confusing why I can't, like, get to... Okay, so this is what my Streamlabs looks like. This is the feed of, like, all the bits messages and everything. This is the chat, which, of course, stays up to date, and I can only go up so far in the chat. Like, it doesn't let me go up any higher. So if your message over here, I can click on links when they show up in the chat here on the right. But in my actual feed of things that happen, links don't hyperlink. I can't even, like, highlight them and copy-paste them, which sucks. So that's why I gotta ask for links after the fact, in case you're ever curious why.
It sounds like a dog toy. But actually, this is the sonorous war cry of a very angry frog. It sounds like a dog toy.
That's cute. Pyromancer, he knows his dad's supporters won't be able to tell the difference. Dr. Xanadu with 20 bits, green energy fear-mongering, yes. Mike Max 321 says, bingo, with what I know what Trump will say, doesn't count. No, you gotta wait till stuff actually happens on the stream. Mr. Sir Knight King Yo with 20 bits. Donald Trump's son is mimicking his father to gain appeal from his father's existing following and possibly secure an audience for a later election. He's no different than Jordan Peterson's daughter, who didn't used to sound anything like him and partied her way through Europe while he was in a drug-induced coma. Remember that the children of people like this are living in the shadows of their parents. Pyromancer with 20 bits says, he has strong please clap energy. Rublum with 100 bits says, Papa, am I a real boy yet, Papa? Daddy Sume with 20 bits, and the episode that literally starred a pedophile. Tucker White 94 says, is Don Jr. implying Joe Biden quote, unquote, banned, unquote, the Muppets? Yes. Winds Chanter, Hannah, who is your favorite Muppet and who is your least liked Muppet? Beaker is my favorite Muppet, along with Honeydew, but Beaker's first. And who's my least liked Muppet? Miss Piggy. Rublum, thank you for gifting subs to the community. Tucker White with 20 bits says, also the Hunter Biden shit was stuff we knew about for years. D. Deerlings, thank you for following. Pyromancer 56 with some bits. They can get away with it because it was true, and I still didn't understand when politics became stand-up comedy, when everyone became stupider. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Sorry guys, I'm not in a great place for a stream tonight. My DMs are open on Discord. If people want to chat, hit me up. Tucker White 94 says, let's watch the Rube Goldberg machine video I sent you. Maybe. Logarth says, what am I gonna do? Well, Denmark and Germany have a really good American expat system. And then Logarth with the link to the TikTok we watched. Felix Night Owl with 20 bits says, Republicans are such an unserious party, it's like they are parodying themselves. Like, that's exactly what comedians would say to parody Republicans. It's a joke. Yeah. Irony's dead. Satire's dead. Dustin 00, thank you for the $25, says, thanks for all the hard work. Thanks for being an audience member and supporting the stream. I appreciate it. Miss Piggy is a feminist icon. How dare you, Hannah? I don't want to think of Miss Piggy as a feminist icon because she's genuinely an abusive partner to Kermit.
Can you pass the salt, please?
When did Rube Goldberg die? Like the guy who did the comics. Was his name actually Rube Goldberg? He died in 1970. I don't know if in his lifetime it was ever a thing that people made Rube Goldberg machines. Oh, wow. He lived almost... Oh, wow. He lived... He was born in 1883 and lived in 1970. That's a very interesting life he got to live. Anyway, I wonder if he ever got to see anyone actually make something like this. It probably would have been very cool for him to see people bring this kind of stuff to life. For those who don't know, Rube Goldberg was a guy who was a cartoonist who made Rube Goldberg machine comics, and the joke was, look at how complicated I can make this simple task. They became very famous, which is why Rube Goldberg machines like this are called Rube Goldberg machines, and now people do them for fun online and stuff. Wow. Loud noise warning? Okay, I'll turn it down. Low. Thank you for the warning. I think this is one of the better ones I've seen. This one involves a lot of, like, knocking balls over, and the balls having to hit, like, just precisely. I like that. I assume each shot is honestly its own thing. I don't think they did this all continually in, like, one go. So it's more like a series of Rube Goldberg machines that theoretically could link up together, but I don't know. Cool nonetheless.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, how about some paper?
Everyone who plays Mousetrap didn't really play Mousetrap. They just set up the Mousetrap board and just played with it. That was a lot of salt, though. I agree. We might hold off on Trump's speech because it's like an hour and a half long, and I do want to cover it. But we could look at the highlights and then maybe do another video or something.
I'm totally off script right now. The Green New Deal, right? Darling, is the wind blowing today? I'd like to watch television, darling. Russia, please, if you can, get us Hillary Clinton's emails. Please, Russia, please. He asked Russia to go get the emails.
You literally did? that happened. There's video of it.
We're going to look into his finance. I said, where did that come from? He always talked about Russia. The Attorney General says, I'm going to recuse myself. And I said, why the hell didn't he tell me that before I put him in? Russia, 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 Russia. My wife said, you never spoke to anybody from Russia, darling. I said, that's right. President Trump is waiting for the Mueller report. He's bad. He's a bad guy. But you know what I like about
this? Was his 2020. This was his 2019 speech. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta find like clips from his 2021 speech. My bad. I wondered why he was still talking about that shit. Did anyone do just like a highlights reel? Yeah. Who's this from, though? I need crazy moments, not moments that make him look good. I'm sure out of an hour and a half, they can parse together 3 minutes. No, we'll watch it. Whatevs. What is WION?
Vaccine iniquity.
World wondering global issues and day aim to empower people. Okay, either way, we'll check out what they clipped out of Trump's speech.
Hello, CPAC. Do you miss me yet? Do you miss me?
Oh, God, no.
Joe Biden has had the most disastrous first month of any president in modern history. That's
Again, here. I'm gonna be real. I didn't realize until I put this on how much I've enjoyed not having to listen to Trump speak for like the past, month or two or however long. I don't even know. It's been beautiful.
It's true. Already the Biden administration has proven that they are anti-jobs, anti-family, anti-borders.
By anti-family, he means letting gay people and trans people exist. That's anti-family, apparently.
Anti-energy, anti-women, and anti-science. In just one short month, we have gone from America first to America last. The Democrats don't have grandstanders like Mitt Romney, Little Ben Sass, Richard Burr, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Pat Toomey. And in the House...
I'm such a goddamn idiot, chat. What's wrong? I was supposed to call the doctor for an appointment for my ADHD meds today, and I forgot. That was incredibly stupid of me.
Tom Rice, South Carolina. Adam Kinzinger. Dan Newhouse. Anthony Gonzalez, that's another beauty. Fred Upton, Jamie Herrera Butler. Peter Meyer, John Katko. David Valadeo, and of course the warmonger, a person that loves seeing our troops fighting, Liz Cheney. How about that? Joe Biden and the Democrats are even pushing policies that would destroy women's sports.
Oh no!
Young girls...
As we all know, Republicans care very much about women's sports.
Women are incensed that they are now being forced to compete against those who are biological males. It's not good for women. It's not good for women's sports.
And we all know Donald Trump cares very much about women.
We're not starting new parties. You know, they kept saying, he's going to start a brand new party. We have the Republican Party. It's going to unite and be stronger than ever before. I am not starting a new party. Who knows? I may even decide to beat them for a third time, okay?
What does that even mean?
Many people have asked, what is Trumpism? A new term being used more and more. I'm hearing that term more and more. I didn't come up with it. But what it means is great deals, great trade deals, great ones. Not deals where we give away everything, our jobs, our money. Tens of millions of ballots. Where are they coming from? They're coming all over.
Oh, he's still doing the thing.
Place. Where illegal aliens and dead people are voting.
Oh, dead people on the bingo card.
And many other horrible things are happening that are too voluminous to even mention, but people know. I mean, it's being studied, and the level of dishonesty.
It's being studied, and I don't know. It's being studied, and the dishonesty. It's voluminous.
Is not to be.
I know that's nonsense. Oh no, does he do the dance again? No, he didn't do the dance. God damn it. I needed that. We'll finish up. We'll watch the speech. At least mostly in its entirety like the next Chud watch, but I just can't deal with that right now. We can maybe play bingo again. A geek with a guitar 90. Oh, well, I'll go through the bits messages in a sec. Do 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 do. We could not watch the speech. I think someone probably wants me to watch it.
There's a CPAC stream as well. Oh, Charlie Kirk is speaking. Okay, you know what? I'm posting. I'm telling everybody the account is open. We're watching this right now.
But the founding fathers never imagined that a small collection of companies could potentially be more powerful than our own government.
That you guys deregulated everything. This is your fault, dummies.
Founding fathers never imagined that Mr. Potato Head would be non-binary.
They have the potential power to obliterate any political movement. We saw it with one of the most grotesque and dangerous acts of political interference in American history. 1 month out from the election, Hunter Biden's laptop, that story was given to the New York Post. Anyone who tweeted about it, anyone who posted about it.
Directly into my veins, brother. I'm so addicted to Hunter Biden's laptop stories. Oh, if he says Hillary Clinton, I'll bust a load right now. It's not even 12 p.m. here yet, and I'm already rock hard like a goddamn diamond, baby. Because this thing. So this is funny. The reason why I mentioned Hillary and then the reason why we did the Gamba is because they look.
Hey everyone, this
Danzy. I wish she would post more often. Danzy, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me, Danzy? I don't know. Maybe we'll watch some sticks. This video is entitled, "For the First Time Since I Was Born, the GOP is Doing Something Right."
Alright everyone, I would like to point something out to people, and I can't state this enough because a lot of times people watch my videos and they see like tacit support for something Trump did, or maybe praising like DeSantis in Florida, and they, because of their football team mentality view of politics, they assume that that makes me a Republican, and they infer...
No, you're like a fascy dude, but fascists tend to align with Republicans politically because it's the closest they have to, you know, what they want. It's a means to an end. I by no means think Sticks is a proud card-carrying Republican. He's a fascist.
From that, because they believe the parties have an ideological consistency of some sort, they, by extension, think that I'm a conservative. I've never been a conservative. I fit in more with a liberal individual than a conservative on a plurality of issues. If you leave out taxes, guns, and the necessity of actually having a U.S. border, on a lot of other issues, I kind of side with...
Remember that time we watched a Styx video where he talked about ethno-nationalism and how it's actually good, except for the United States, where he thinks civic nationalism should be a thing, presumably because, you know, if we were doing an ethno-nationalism based on indigenous individuals, white people wouldn't be in charge?
The far left, to tell the truth. I'm not a regulation lover. I think the government should be much smaller, but when the government is capable of helping, I think that's fine. I'm not an ANCAP. And my first vote was cast for Obama. That was in 2008. Then, of course, he sold everyone down the river and never closed Gitmo, didn't help the economy, gave money to big banks, Occupy and shit. I ended up voting for Ron Paul because I couldn't stand Romney. I wasn't going to vote for him. I couldn't vote for Obama again because he's still Obaming people. So I said, fuck it. I didn't care. And by the way, no, I do not regret the fact that Mitt Romney lost because of all your Ron Paul voters. Good. Fuck Mitt Romney. It's the greatest thing ever. Obama got 4 more years to trash things, leading directly to the Trump era, by the way. You should thank Mitt Romney for being a shitty candidate and Ron Paul for having ideological consistency for that, by the way. And then voted for Trump. But I didn't vote for Trump because he's a Republican. I voted for him in spite of him being a Republican. For the first time since I was born, because, of course, you know, I'm born in the Herbert Walker era at the dawn of that. I think Reagan was still president for a year, and then, you know, the shitty era begins because you get a Bush in office. The Republicans have sort of been the stupid party.
They've been the stupid party for a while, and Reagan was certainly a part of that.
What's right. When they have a good idea, they don't back it up with any actual force. If all the Democrats ever had to do to the cowardly, spineless, neocon Republicans like Romney is threaten to call them bigoted. Oh my God, please don't use the B word. Don't call me that. Don't call me mean names. It's like they'd be in charge of the House and the Senate. They'd be able to strangulate all of government, and all Obama had to do was murmur about being part black, and they would immediately crumble.
I wish Republicans had crumbled more under the Obama administration. What are you talking about? They made nothing get done.
Crumble completely. In the off chance they had a good idea, therefore they wouldn't really do anything with it. They wouldn't take the ball and run with it. They'd be given a foot, they'd take an inch, or they wouldn't take anything. And in the off chance that they actually enforced their majority and actually got something done, it was always for shitty reasons. It was always to bomb somebody or, you know, give more money to Walmart or something like that.
Yeah, as it turns out, politicians are really shitty. Democrats do a lot of this shit, too. We should probably all work together, maybe not with fascists like Styx, but like other people, and be like, hey, it turns out rich people suck a lot and they've destroyed our political processes. Let's get money out of politics so we can actually dictate policy instead of large corporations. That'd be great.
But now you've got a reckoning in the GOP. Trump is by far and away the leader of the Republican Party. And he's not even technically a Republican. He started showing up at CPAC.
He's definitely a Republican now. Whether or not you consider him a Republican before, because back in 2000 he tried to start the Reform Party, and he's certainly given money to both parties throughout his life. He's definitely a Republican now. He basically is the Republican Party, so...
Thousands because of the trajectory of the Democratic Party. I realize that. But if you look at what he actually believes in, pre-Reagan he would have been a Democrat. That's just the way that it is. He's sort of a Reaganite, but people casting Reagan off as far-right don't understand history either. They still think trickle-down was an actual proposal. Ronald Reagan never shrunk government. He just froze the new spending for a couple of years to allow private growth to catch up. For some reason, there are people who think he was an extreme right-winger for this. The shittiest stuff Reagan was doing was, you know, largely in foreign policy. You know, in domestic policy, reasonably better.
I want to die.
Last president prior to Trump that actually made a lick of sense. I'm glad, though, that the GOP has kind of cleaned up, but you've still got a problem in the GOP. This is the biggest problem. The reason why I couldn't be a Republican still is you still have too much neocon draws. People that are typically over 70, they still think it's Reagan era. So they're taking the same charisma minus any actual policy platforms and trying to put it forward as though it's...
Oh my god, you're describing Donald Trump. You're literally describing Donald Trump. What policy? What? And I don't mean like build a wall, because that's a catchphrase. It's not really a policy, as we saw from the fucking 14 miles of fence that got put up. Like, it's not a policy decision. Trump goes up and insults people and says catchphrases for an hour, and all his idiot fans are like, yay! It's horrible.
It's going to work. The Democrats are doing, by the way, fundamentally the same thing. Look at what Biden does. Oh man, I'm going to stop that fracking. Oh, no, actually, I'm kind of pro-fracking. Oh man, I think we need to promote women more. Oh yeah, I'm going to cancel the very existence of females on the...
That is not what he did! Look, I also don't like fucking Biden. I don't like Biden. But then you take it this step too far, and all of a sudden I gotta fucking defend Joe Biden, and I hate it. Joe Biden has not canceled women. Jesus Christ. Oh, wow, big raid. Okay, the Serfs. Lance, thank you so much for the raid. Everyone in chat, I'm sure you're already aware of the Serfs, but go and follow Lance over at the Serfs TV here on Twitch. Right now, we're looking at Sticks and Hammer 666, who's a bit of a fashy boy. We're taking a look at his reaction to both CPAC and how he thinks the Republican Party is moving in a positive direction. So we're going to take a look at that. Hi, Kitty. Did you show up for the raid, too? My cat is here.
My first day in fucking office. Oh, I'm going to eliminate those scary AR-15s. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to, like, tax people so poor people aren't allowed to have assault rifle 15s, but rich people, yeah, it's okay. He's done a...
Is Sticks just figuring out that we have a multi-tiered justice system in this country based on your wealth? Because, oh boy, nobody tell him about literally anything else about our justice system, or else he's probably going to have a panic attack.
180, or flip-flopped, or significantly changed his position on basically every fucking thing that he's done already. He's alienated his own voters faster than Obama ever could, to the point where the MSM is engaging in transparent push polling.
Here's the difference. How do I put this? People like me, people like I imagine a lot of people in the audience, when we voted for Biden, when I voted for Biden, I didn't vote for Biden the same way I think a lot of people voted for Obama. I think a lot of people who voted for Obama back in, like, his first term back in 2008. Hi, kitty. Here's the kitty. I think when Obama got elected back in 2008, and he was so much on the rhetoric of, like, hope and change, and I'm gonna do things, and be progressive, and I'm gonna close Gitmo, and I'm gonna, you know, be better than George W. Bush. I think a lot of people genuinely were excited for Obama and hoping he would bring substantive change to the executive branch. Biden is not that situation. At no point with me voting for Biden, and I know everyone else I know who voted for Biden, didn't go, yippee skippy, I'm so excited for Joe Biden, he's going to bring so much positive progressive change to the White House. We went, oh God, oh no, the last 4 years have been a disaster. We're going to have 500,000 dead people soon from COVID, and countless others who are going to suffer for the rest of their lives with respiratory issues. We should probably vote for some adults, right? And then Joe Biden's president, and we're all disappointed, even though our standards are very low. But it is what it is. This wasn't a misconception. I'm not like, oh no, Joe Biden isn't a lefty. How could this happen? I knew this was going to happen. It was damage mitigation.
To convince people that he's still got a solid core of base of support off of Twitter. That's basically the only place you're going to find a large number of Biden supporters. And they support him because of the D after his name. They don't support him because he's Biden. They're reluctant Biden supporters. But he's...
Probably a lot of people are, like me. Again, I wouldn't even classify myself as a Biden supporter. But again, if in 2024, Donald Trump tries to run again, or Don Jr., or God forbid, someone like Tucker Carlson... Yeah, I'll vote for Biden again, or whoever ends up being the Democratic candidate if Biden keels over, or if Biden steps down, or whatever. Turns out our first past the post voting system is very stupid, and creates terribly inefficient government with people who are vacuous and don't have a lot of solid plans because they have to pander to the lowest common denominator.
He's a Democrat, and, you know, Orange Man bad, and Orange Man still, you know, does this.
I don't know if you guys know this. Orange Man is bad. He was pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Speech thing, so there's something to contrast him with, and that's really what's happening. But the GOP, for decades, it was the party of the Iraq War. It was the, well, I mean, that was both parties, but they were the ones that got the ball rolling. They were the party of invading Afghanistan and then not following through at Tora Bora, if that was ever really a thing.
They still are.
Involving Osama in the first place, we'll never be sure. They were the party of kowtowing to the Democrats, not stopping them from doing...
Orange Man didn't start new wars. He certainly tried a couple times, didn't he? Guess he's not as good as warmongering as some of our previous presidents.
Hideous things when they did have the ability to do anything at all. They were the party of mollycoddling censorious evangelicals. Now the GOP has done a 180, and parts of the party are now anti-censorship. In fact, Ron Paul sort of gets his wish. The reforms that he fomented within the GOP have at least partially taken hold under Trump. Now, I know Ron Paul is not a fan of Trump, but is willing to give him tacit support on those several issues. Lowering taxes is better than raising them, even if it's only marginal. Well, Trump did that. Not going to war with other countries. Even if you're not a peacenik, you're not withdrawing all the troops.
Again, Donald Trump still bombed countries. He assassinated a general from Iran. Like, what? He pulled out of the Iran... Oh, Jesus Christ.
All drone strikes, but you're not starting any new conflicts, you're not expanding any that are there, and you're...
Our bar is so low in the United States. God. we didn't invade any new countries, okay? We didn't do an imperialism. So that's good. That is good. But the bar is so goddamn low, guys.
Withdrawing some of our forces from around the world, that's a good thing. It's a marginal improvement. This is, by the way, what I liked about Trump and from the get-go. Some people were saying, oh, he's the big nationalistic god emperor. We're going to be an empire soon. That was never what he was about. He's literally just trying to...
No, I'm pretty sure he's mostly an isolationist, like, nationalist. I'm going to leave off white from the nationalist there because, you know, but...
Stop communism at the moment. Because that's where the far left is lurching off into, and they're still being mollycoddled by the Dems. I think he is genuinely worried that they will eventually take control of a mainline party. At least you'd have a contrast, I guess, at least insofar as you'd actually have two parties, functionally speaking. And I guess it'd be better than neocon versus neolib. But the GOP is already reforming too. You've got populism there. Populism is better than neoconservatism. Again, it's not perfect.
Their form of populism is hating gay people and LGBT people and voting against their own best interests.
The platforms are imperfect. They'll never be perfect. And by the way, perfect is in the eye and ear of the beholder. Certainly, I'm never going to find a politician that I 100% agree with. Even like with someone like Ron Paul. I don't believe in reestablishing the gold standard because I understand fundamentally the way economics works, the way that modern trade works. Unfortunately, it wouldn't work. It'd be nice to have a currency backed by something more tangible, but that's...
Why? Anyone, and I know he's not even saying this, it just frustrates me that there are a lot of, especially Trumpian or like QAnon following people on the right who are very on board with this like idea of we need to get back on the gold standard. Like, guys, no, that's a bad idea. That's a terrible idea. Your shiny metal isn't a better idea than a fiat currency. Please chill.
It's not really the role of currency, if you understand its use as a medium of exchange. I'm sure that a lot of you are red in the face at the moment. Oh my god, I wish someone would debate that sticks on the gold standard. Oh, okay, that's fine. Again, you're never going to agree fully with anyone. I don't know, I guess Ron Paul, Trump, and Razor Fist, throw them together and you'd amalgamate a character that I'd agree with 99% of the time.
Oh god! Oh, that's a horrifying thought. Could I wash that from my brain?
Even if you clone yourself, your clone would probably diverge from your opinions, because your clone would still be a selfish individual. The GOP is actually better than the Dems right now. That's the first time. This is the first time that the Republicans are more aware of the world, the way in which it works, and how to solve fundamental issues, and more willing to actually attempt that.
We watched multiple CPAC speeches today. We watched Ted Cruz's, and we watched Don Jr.'s, and we watched a little bit of Trump's, but we're going to finish Trump's in the next couple days or whenever we do the next Chud Watch. They had no policy positions. They were just bitching about so-called cancel culture and making Star Wars jokes. That's not a policy position. Hating Star Wars except for Gina Carano is not a personality, nor is it a political strategy.
Then the Democrats. The Democrats have always had screwy ideas, but at least they were trying. At least they were making an attempt. You know, you'd have the grifters and opportunists making a lot of money off those attempts, but you had some, they kind of cared. Instead, now they're the party of Demented Joe and the Gang of Four Socialist Front, you know, basically the young female versions of Bernie Sanders. There's clones. They're not doing too hot. You know, Nancy Pelosi keeps shutting them up. Yeah, and Pelosi. You know, a $10,000 fridge, you got $2,000 worth of fucking ice cream bars in it. That's the Democrats right now. That's what they stand for. And Bloomberg, you know, multi-billionaire class. They're the ones absorbing all the corporate money. The Republicans...
And as we all know, Republicans never ever take corporate money.
Stomp them in the House.
I'm not trying whataboutism, by the way. I also disagree when the Democrats do it, which is why I like candidates that don't take big, like, PAC money and corporate money and shit. But the idea that Republicans don't also do that is pretty funny. Like, even Trump does that. What is he talking about?
Representatives, and in state legislatures, and in gubernatorial races. You can't say that Trump is a weakling, because he's basically the face of the Republican Party, when all of these echo chamber
Wait, he can
leftists,
be both.
by the way,
Those aren't mutually exclusive. He's a two-time loser. He didn't win the popular vote either time. Got impeached twice. Like, he could be a loser and a weakling and also be in charge of the party. The Republican Party's fucking pathetic. Now, don't get me wrong, the Democratic Party, mainstream-wise, isn't doing much better. But, like, Donald Trump can also be pathetic and in charge of the Republican Party.
Well, it's the party of Trump now. They mean it to be like it's the party of Nazis, the party of extremists. No, actually, I'm sure Trump and the Republicans are very happy about that. Because the
Oh, yes. Isn't it always great? You definitely feel good when people compare you to extremist Nazi groups.
Alternative is they're the party of Mitt Romney. That would be, you'd be the party of a perpetual loser. Someone whose biggest claim to fame was being the proto-Obamacare architect. Need I remind the Republicans that when you applaud Mitt Romney because he's against Orange Man, you are literally looking at the face of the man who designed what ended up becoming the most hated proposal of the Obama era, according to Republicans, including the milquetoast neocons.
Who the fuck cares what they think?
Very, very funny indeed. It's nice that there's an awakening within the GOP, and then now you have a party that fundamentally, at least to some extent, is with it. Sort of understands things, and I would point...
They're hip and cool. They understand how the kids want to overthrow the government and install a 70-something-year-old orange man as dictator. Hello, fellow kids. Would you like to do a terrorism?
Out another thing. A disproportionate number of young people for the first time is swinging, if not to the right, at least towards that side of things, and it's largely due to two people, Ron Paul and Donald Trump. Those are the two big charismatic figureheads that really have sapped a lot of the youth energy out of the Dems. That and the fact that the Democrats are led by a dude pushing 80, who breaks...
Doesn't he live in a country with universal health care? He lives in Amsterdam, I think.
His own protocols, and really he doesn't know how to communicate at this point because he's literally got Alzheimer's disease.
And there it is.
That's about all. Peace out.
It always feels like, with how quickly Styx ends his videos, that there's someone, like, holding a gun to his head just off camera, and there's, like, a stopwatch, and he has to talk nonsense and bullshit right-wing talking points for a certain amount of time, and the second the timer goes off, they let him stop, and he stops immediately. So that sticks for the day. Oh god, did we want to watch... Oh no, there's still so many people here. Have you guys heard of Danzy Sings? people who came from the Serfs raid. Danzy sings. Everyone's gonna leave if I do this. I'm gonna play about 15 seconds of Danzy sings just because I need to share this with you, and you need to see me at my worst before you decide whether or not you should follow me, okay?
Hi, this is the 7th Trump song that Dancy Sings Big Singing Channel presents. Country on Fire, made from Girl on Fire. He's just phony and he's on fire. Corrupted than a politician, acting like a puppet. This election was stolen and it's on fire. Filled with voter fraud, but he knew he would get away with it. Oh, he got support from the swamp and is counting on it. He got support from fake media, which is censoring free speech. This election was stolen! This election was stolen!
So give me a follow. It's done. I won't play any more Danzy this stream, I promise. There was way too much of this. Lance is too much of a coward to show this truth. Play the rest. On another stream I will. I play Danzy quite a bit and people hate me for it. Okay, let's do one last thing before we call it a night. Let's do Terrence Popp. Those, again, who came from the raid, for those who don't know, Terrence Popp is a right-wing, MGTOW, conspiracy theorist Trump supporter, ex-military, who has online been giving people tips on how to survive the coming civil war, or, I don't know, genocide of Trump supporters, whatever he thinks is going to happen. He hasn't been incredibly clear about it, but it's pretty interesting. So we're going to go ahead and give this a watch and see what terrible advice he has for people. Bleachy Gal, thanks for gifting 5 subs to the community. I appreciate it. And we're on a hype train. 62% of level 2. Nice.
Get yourself a gym membership while you can. Walk on a treadmill. Walk outside. Jog. What have you. Because it's going to pay dividends to your survival. Alright everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. And we're going to be cutting into this whole E&E thing a little bit more in depth here. This one is going to be as long as the last one because I'm introducing a term that you guys need to become familiar with, and that it's an acronym that we learned in the
military. Is he drunk? I guess I should have said. He's drunk in every video he does, at least a little bit. So yeah, he's drunk.
Terry, it's PACE, P-A-C-E. That stands for primary, alternate, contingent, and emergency. All right, those are the 4 levels of plan that you pretty much have to have in place for everything you do in the military. Op orders, warning orders, what have you. You know, if you're going to do a raid, ambush, recon, you got to have those 4 plans put in place because that really does improve your odds of survival astronomically. All right, if you just put together your primary plan and nothing else, well, I'm going to be honest, I have never seen a plan survive initial contact without it having to be modified. It's easier to modify something that you have something close to.
Yeah, he did say 72 hours in the last video, but some other people had a different interpretation than I did. It's possible he meant that within 72 hours at any point, that's how long it takes for society to, like, collapse. I don't think he was literally saying 3 days from now at this point, but who knows? He's kind of a weirdo, so...
Do it. Like, for instance, you go from your primary to your alternate, Those are very close. And then it just gets worse from there. Now, from the prepper mindset, if you look back in the archaeological record, especially in the Americas, going back a couple, 2,000-3,000 years, there has been very large civilizations that have existed. The Mayas, the Incas, there was like 2 or 3 other ones going all the way back to the Toltecs.
Why is he gonna... Oh, God.
And they had very large cities. And for whatever reason...
Like Tenochtitlan. That's the one I know.
Be it climate change or something else, they collapsed.
I'm pretty sure Conquistadors had something to say about that. Hype train, 23% of level 4. Nice.
And you had basically a huge shrinking of the population. I'm sure there was all kinds of pandemonium going on there. If it happened then, it could happen now. All right, we have a very, very weak supply chain in regards to food and medicine and so forth. It's basically an as needed. And one thing breaks...
Oh, God. Central and South America had a pretty interesting situation, too, in terms of, like, lack of certain beasts of burden to be able to create as substantial of trading routes as their European and Asian counterparts, let's say. So, they were in a pretty specific situation. Yeah, I'll speed him up. You're right. He is talking very slowly. I'm sorry. Pyromancer, thanks for gifting 10 Tier 1 subs to the community. Much appreciated. And that brings us through level 4 of the hype train. Let me speed this dude up. We'll try 1.25 and see where we go. Ooh, 111% to level 5. Nice.
Breaks down in that chain of supply. We are 72 hours away from being at each other's throats because...
Okay, so he is saying 72 hours from the beginning of some catastrophe or something. Coolio.
At the end of the day, we're just a bunch of hairless monkeys who happen to be just smart enough to make nuclear warheads that will one day probably destroy us.
It's so weird listening to him at 1.25 because he sounds normal at this pace.
The war on the West is no longer about men or women. It's about the ideological subversion of Western minds by foreign actors cloaked in a public relations-friendly outfit called feminism.
Did you guys know that feminism is a Trojan horse for... Where's my prop, goddammit? Communism? I knew it. I knew Anita Sarkeesian was secretly Mao in disguise.
Join the fight against the destabilization of our very civilization by reading Surviving Fourth Wave Feminism. Learn some inconvenient truths by clicking on the link in the description, because every time you do, a pansexual non-binary socialist cries.
Oh boy, let's take a look and see what the sample on Amazon looks like. We actually haven't looked at this. Let's see. Chapter 1, The Semantics of Feminism. Chapter 2, I Was a Feminist. Chapter 3, The Great Awakening. Chapter 4, Recruiting Westerners into Anti-Western Movements. Hypocrisy of E-Fem, Equality versus Equity versus Feminism. Delinking accountability from responsibility. The World's Most Privileged. Striving for A but achieving B. The Law of Unintended Consequences. And 9, Fake Rape Culture. Oh no. Let's take a look at chapter 1 and see what it says. If there's one thing that undoes any hope of progressive feminism, it's that of an agreed definition. The classic response from the most devoted feminist to a person who claims they are not a feminist is constantly along the lines of, how can you not be a feminist? Feminism means equality. If you don't support feminism, you're sexist. End of story. It is this claim that keeps many of us tied within the outdated confines of an outdated title. After all, what reasonable person wouldn't want the same opportunities for both their mom and dad, son, daughter, or sister? I'm guessing this is written in the EU, or not in the EU, not anymore. I'm guessing this is written in the UK, based on the mum thing. In the Western world, equality is given great social value, thus to go against feminism must be to go against a value that is good and true, right? Well, not exactly. Well, no, it pretty much would be. Although there are different schools of feminism. Like, it's not like there's one monolithic feminism. It's, you know, they're intersectional feminists and all that sort of stuff. Like, there's different kinds of feminists. But feminism, as it's colloquially understood, tends to mean equality of opportunity for men and women. We might have to read some of that more at some point, but let's go back to his video.
Again, I went over this here, you know, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency plan. You know, you need to put together...
Don't mean to derail reading, but what pronouns do you use? I use she, her. Thanks for asking.
You know, what you're going to do. Like, your primary plan is probably something like shelter in place and try to ride it out. Most of the time, if there's a natural disaster or something along those lines, if you have enough food and water in a house to ride out 1 or 2 weeks, you should be fine before order's restored and so forth. Now, you know, if there is a complete breakdown of the supply chain and the police aren't coming, the fire department's not coming, you're going to have to come up with an alternate plan. Now, in regard, mine is to move to move to a friend's house. That's my ultimate plan. You know, I have friends that are further north, not quite as far. The strength in numbers, you know, 2 or 3 guys.
He's from my state, by the way. So I've never ran into Terrence. Obviously, it's a whole state, but it does scare me that people like him and John Doyle live within driving distance of me.
Are a lot
Not that I think they do anything. I just don't like knowing that these people are around me.
More safe than one guy by himself. Now, my contingency, which is a fallback position, I'm putting together 2. I'm actually looking for, I made an offer on a 30-acre spread in Prescott, Michigan. There's nothing on it. It's just partially wooded field thing. I need to start improving that, but that is one of my fallback.
I'm sure that people will respect your claim to those 30 acres after the apocalypse.
Positions. Another one.
Has he even seen The Walking Dead?
It's another individual. I will not put the location to where that one is, because, you know, that's his business and ours, quite frankly. If you find...
This is at 1.25, yeah. Do you want to see 1.5? Let's see what he sounds like at 1.5.
Yourself in an emergency situation, I'm just going to tell you right now, you are fucked, and all you have is what you can carry or what you have with you. These other ones here, you're allowed the luxury of time and the ability to, you know, work out your logistics and move to where you need to move.
Him at 1.5 speed is just me talking normally.
Move. This one here, you don't. Like, literally, you're in your house, you haven't made any other plans. Next thing you know, there's mobs trying to kick down your front door, you have to run out the back door. And all you can really carry with you is what you have in a bag. And this gets infinitely more complicated if you're married.
I have the pronoun... Hold on. Test. How do I set my pronouns with the extension? Because I have the pronouns extension, but it doesn't, like, show up on mine. Do I gotta go into the extension and do some settings or something?
Kids have to deal with extended family. That's just a recipe for disaster right there. Okay, if you have those kind of
you gotta go to the site. Okay, after the stream I'll fix it so my pronouns show up.
Ties or those complications in your life, you don't want to be here. All right, you ideally want to start here before it gets that bad, and then you can have a little bit more time to move from there to your fallback positions. Now people are like, yeah, what's a fallback position? Well, a cabin, friend's house where you have you know, supplies, and you have agreements with him that it's cool if you go there. Because if you just run out of the area, you're a refugee, and historically refugees are not treated well or looked upon favorably. Just saying.
I like that he's aware of this, but he's still a Trump supporter. He's like, yeah, I'm taking part in villainizing and hating refugees, but also I don't want to be one because then I'll get treated the way I treat refugees. What an ass!
If you want to have your best chance of survival, you need to have the following things in your person, in your car, or in a bag ready to go. Minimum. You got to have maps of your area and where you want to get to. They have to be paper, because if you don't have power, they still work. I learned how to navigate on maps decades ago. I can still do it today in my sleep. You want to have a compass. It's easy to get turned around. If you have a compass, then you can use those maps effectively and you'll be okay. Water purification. When I was, in the Rangers, when I was in the Ranger Battalion in the infantry, we had little bottles of water purification tablets. They worked. The water did not taste good, but they worked. So literally, you can get those like 2 little bottles of water purification tablets for like $18 on eBay. You can find them on Amazon. You have the ability to start a fire. Now, there's some people out there who have these crazy fire starting kits where you flint and steel and all that crazy stuff. Those are great. They are effective if you are basically trained up on how to do that. If not, it's a pain in the ass. So you gotta have a way to start a fire. Medical supplies. Now when I say medical supplies, I'm not talking about a huge med kit with IVs, tourniquets, and all that other crap. Ideally, you just want to have a small medical kit to deal with superficial bullshit. That, believe it or not, that stuff can get out of hand and turn real bad real quick. Like, sutures, have some iodine, alcohol swabs.
I think he's claimed, someone says, I bet he wasn't a Ranger. He probably wasn't even in the infantry. He says he was a Green Beret, I think. I'm pretty sure he said that before. But he's also said he was in the Michigan National Guard. I don't know if that's a thing you can, maybe you started in the National Guard and then at some point applied to be a Green Beret. Is that a thing you can do? I don't know. But he said both.
Different types of bandages. Different types of Band-Aids and stuff for moleskin for your feet, medical tape, so if something's a little bigger, you can, fashion a bigger bandage out of like paper towel or something. It's not rocket science, it's no big deal. You want to have the ability to put up a shelter and cordage. A lot of you are like, oh, it's a big tent. No, it's not. It can be a tarp. You can do a lot of shit with a tarp and you'll be just fine. Okay, next is a weapon. It depends upon the state you're in, but if it gets to the point where it's bad, the laws can kiss your ass. You come first, you have the right to defend yourself. Last but not least, have a goddamn plan.
So if your family's in immediate danger, then you think it's okay to take extreme action, even if that extreme action maybe doesn't jive with the law. Like people escaping Mexico and coming to the United States with their children for opportunity.
All right, so say you need to run away. You have all this shit. You have a plan on how to get to your alternate location.
Special Forces, then Reserves or National Guard. Gotcha.
Or your contingency location. Your odds have gone way up of actually not dying. All right. If you find yourself in a situation, if you're a refugee, have value. All right. If you're a kid who just sat in his mama's basement forever and all of a sudden you're running down, the street trying to get out of the city and you find yourself outside the city limits and you start asking people, could you please feed me, please help me? You're not going to find any help. You have no value. I'm sorry. All right, if you're a mechanic, you have a skill that you can swap for food. If you're a nurse, that's definitely going to be needed. Even better yet, a doctor.
That we call this a society. I learned this from Jared Leto's Joker. We live in a society. Let's just not collapse it because you're mad Joe Biden won the presidency, and we can all continue to live in the society that we have. We can make improvements to that society, but could you stop, getting hard over the idea of a civil war collapsing civilization as we know it just so you can go and LARP with your friends? That'd be great. If you want to go get drunk and shoot guns in the woods, just go do that. You don't have to collapse civilization to go do that with your friends.
Well, let's face it, those guys have money. They're probably not going to be running around on foot.
Oh, by the way, this guy was in D.C. on the 6th. I don't know if any of the people here from the raid know that. He claims this was prior to the 6th. He's like, I'm going to D.C. on the 6th. I'm doing private security work for someone. I keep looking, by the way. The FBI will occasionally post, new images from the Capitol riot on the 6th and be like, do you know this person? Every time I look at them because I'm just like, is Terrence Popp gonna show up? Is Terrence Popp gonna show up?
Bring yourself up to having some value so you're not looked upon it in a negative light. Now, you guys are like, oh, that sounds like a lot of shit. Okay, I'm going to pull this out for you right here. All right.
For the record, he was in D.C. I have no evidence he was at the Capitol during the events, but it just wouldn't surprise me if he was.
This here is my compass. You can even get him small.
He would have been pinged by the phone trackers at the Capitol. Terrence actually strikes me as the kind of person, while he is kind of an idiot, I think the fact that he was in the military makes me think if he was in Special Forces, he would be smart enough to not bring his phone. Maybe I'm wrong, though.
Smaller than this. This is a military-grade compass. I think this one was like $40. All right.
Or at least to use a burner phone or something.
This is the first aid kit. I have sutures in here, all kinds of Band-Aids, mercurochrome, iodine, alcohol, medical tape, duct tape, and I actually have some pressure dressings in here as well, and the water purification tablets in this one little box. All right, you can buy this on eBay and build it yourself.
So is the woman who was shot? Yeah, true.
All right, now here's the fire. See how this works? It's an old brass lighter, and look, instant fire. Okay, so if you can make a fire, and you can build shelter, because
what happens when I run out of butane?
This is actual tarp here. It's
why don't you get one of those fire starter things that you'd like spark? I mean, I'm not saying you could have both, absolutely, because you'll probably be able to. Again, we're talking about like a situation that's not going to happen, but like if this happened, sure you could scavenge for like butane or something, but at some point you're not going to find any more, and you need the flint and steel thing, so you should probably have both.
I believe this is 8x8, and it reflects heat. This cost me like $15. It's nothing. And a little bit of cordage so I can tie it to some trees.
Just go to Walmart. If society collapsed, Walmart would be empty within a week. I guarantee it.
Trees. You know, if you're running all day, you're pretty much going to stay pretty warm. And if you need to chill and recharge your batteries, you put up the tarp, you light a fire, stay in position 4 to 6 hours till you're rested and rehydrated, bust it all down, put it in your bag or whatever, and bail. Okay, again, we have the PACE here, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. Now, when it comes to getting out of the area, your primary plan, get while the getting is good, and you can use the roads, cars, trucks, planes, trains, boats, whatever. That's a good method. All right, if you can find yourself ahead of the power curve, great. All right, if you can't use the primary, the alternated surface roads, or a boat, like you can drive all over this country, and you can stay off the freeways and the highways and use just surface roads. This is going to take you a long time. You know, if these are clogged up or there's checkpoints or what have you, the surface roads work pretty good. I'm going to be honest, trying to lock down an entire area to include the surface roads is very hard. It takes a lot of people, and one little hole in that net and a lot of people can get out. All right, now the contingency here is either it's partial on the roads with a car, truck, and then on foot, when that means you're pretty much partially fucked when it comes to movement, because on foot is the slowest. You can, if you know what you're doing, the time doesn't really matter, and you're in good shape. You know, if you're in a really, really hostile environment, on foot is probably pretty good. It's really hard to run down one dude, especially if he knows what he's doing, he knows how to hide, and he knows how to fight, which is the last option. I'm just saying that if you know what you're doing, it doesn't necessarily mean a death sentence. Okay, now E means you are fucked. You're 100% foot from start to finish. So that means that you're running out your back door and you're on foot until you get to where you want to be. Or
this one isn't nearly as fun as his
if you
previous
find yourself
one.
in a contingency or
he's
emergency
not getting
plan,
this conspiratorial this time and implying that he's going to get put up in like a Trump holocaust for Trump supporters.
To get out of the urban environment or away from the cities, which are very effective. I've done this before. Train tracks. Train tracks are pretty much a straight line out of town. A lot of these train tracks, most of these train tracks, are run by, I don't remember the train company that it is anymore, but
Amtrak?
Basically run freight everywhere. And they maintain the track, and then there's a certain percentage of land on each side of the track, and there's usually a service road, you know, that is there to service the tracks. And literally on one escape and evasion operation, I walked on the train tracks for 130 some odd miles over a 7-day period. Yes, they were patrolled. Yes, there were dogs, the whole deal, but I easily was able to do it. And I didn't really have to run at all. Just slow, methodical movement, mostly at night, and you're fine. Okay, there's all kinds of places to hide there.
When did he do that, and why?
The tracks to keep you from being detected or seen. Okay, next, and I mentioned this last time, is power lines. Now, where I am at, I'm within 4 miles of a high-tension power line, straight shot north, and it goes straight for like 28 miles. So I throw on a pack, have a good set of boots, and I'm gone. Literally, I could be at the end of that 28 miles inside of a day, maybe a day and a half. I'm old, but it can be done. Okay, another one you can do, a lot of people don't realize this, is the edge of the water. You can literally walk along the beach on the edges of large bodies of water relatively easily, especially at night. I've done that as well. Easily can be done.
I don't understand what that even means. People definitely know you can traverse places by following streams or the edges of, like, large bodies of water. What?
All right, forest and swamp, self-explanatory. Most people don't want to go into a swamp. It's very annoying. There's all kinds of bugs. You're walking through mud. It smells.
Ogres and donkeys all over the place. It's annoying.
Slow going. Same thing goes for a forest. You know, a lot of people are just not about walking through a forest. They'll stay on the roads or trails in a forest, but very few people are going to go off the trail and be able to walk and navigate that stuff freely. So again, if you find yourself in these two positions here using any of these methods, you better be in good shape. All right, because if your life is on the line, waiting around or basically relying on you getting in shape and the first week of this bullshit, that's far from the preferred method. And a lot of people who wind up in the contingency emergency parts of their plans, if they're not in shape, they're not going to make it. Get yourself a gym membership while you can. Walk on a treadmill. Walk outside. Jog. What have you. Because it's going to pay dividends to your survival. All right, now, hopefully I haven't gone on too long. At least not as long as the last one. I'm going to go into this a little bit more in detail and bring that information forward to you in future layer videos. May not be directly after this one, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.
For the record, this guy spends the rest of his time complaining about women because he got divorced some years ago and he's still bitter about it. Literally, the rest of his
had a
videos
lifestyle where basically you got
are him bitching about women, sometimes with a friend, sometimes on his own.
You had a lifestyle where basically you got to live off your father. And then, while you were still living with your father and he was paying all the bills, you went out there when your value was at its peak, you found another dude, got him to write a check against you, and you moved directly from your father's house into a man's house. And all you had to do in exchange for him paying all your bills and taking care of you for the rest of your life was have a couple kids and keep the house clean and keep his balls empty and his stomach full. That's it.
That's it.
That's all you had to fucking do. You threw that away and now you want to bitch about it.
Just a taste of what his other content is like for those who are here from the raid. But that's it for Terrence today. Not the most interesting video, but, you know, they're not all winners. We're doing our best. I don't know, as sort of a pseudo-cleanse, maybe we'll look at the funny comic from, what's it called, Zootopia? Understandable divorce? Yeah, you think? So, Jake and I, actual Jake here on Twitch, we have a YouTube channel together, and a long time ago, we covered a comic that was a Zootopia comic that was about Judy from the children's movie Zootopia, made by Disney Animation, getting an abortion, and Nick the Fox freaking out about it and leaving her. That was issue number 1. There are apparently more issues, and here are some highlights. After Nick leaves her, Judy gets into a relationship with a woman who is also a fox. You replaced me with another fox? A female fox? I'd think you'd better say vixen. You're not like that, Judy. You're just fooling yourself. Please dump this, I'm not gonna say that, and get back to your true self. Don't you dare call her that. Nick, stop this and stand up. Judy, please hear me out. I did you wrong. I should have never left you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have stayed by your side. You asked me to stay, but I refused to listen. I was proud enough to turn my back on you. And then it turns to color when she kisses her girlfriend. I'm better now. Much better. That's kind of cute. Sure, fine. But it continues. Then Nick apparently has really, really, like, sad and, like dreams about marrying Judy. Judy, are you really here by my side, smiling lovingly at me, or is this just a dream? Well, I don't know if I'm dreaming or not, but there's one thing I know for sure. I love you, Judy. I will love you for all the days of my life, and in every one of these days I'll try to be worthy of your love, in good fortune or in adversity, in sickness and in health. I'll always be at your side. Judy, your smile and your happiness are my most precious treasures, and if all I am seeing now is just a dream, I don't want to wake up anymore. And that's the thing too. This person's art's like good. This is pretty good art. Like it's in service to the strangest story though. And then Nick hires a prostitute, a sex worker, and calls her Judy, and then pays her like 4 times what she asked for, which then allows her to go back home, and it's revealed she has a kid, and she can buy the kid groceries and shit because Nick paid her so much to sleep with her. And then they like meet years later or something and reconcile. I don't know. It's just so weird. Oh yeah, she was the first rabbit to get an abortion in the canon of this too, I forgot. As the first rabbit to ever get an abortion, I was fully aware of the risks. Judy Hopps, rabbit detective from Disney's Zootopia, is the first rabbit in history to get an abortion. Throw that on the Wikipedia page. That's canon. They're Catholics, like Catholics, but carrots. Okay. That's probably it. Well, thanks anyone who came from the raid. If you liked what you saw, you know, give me a follow. A lot of people seemed to follow earlier, and I appreciate that. So. Who can we raid? I raided Squid the other day. I could maybe do left flank vets. Let's do left flank vets. The case for universal basic income. Sure, sounds good. Can you call in your bingo sub? You sure can. One sec, let me get it. Let me cross your name off real quick, and then we'll raid. Where's my pen? I literally just had it. It's on the ground. There it is. Pick it up with my toe. Alright, let me do the raid. Thank you everyone for coming to the stream. Thank you raiders for sticking around. Hope you liked the stream. We do Chud Watch pretty often. A couple times a week at least. Sometimes we do it more. Tomorrow we're doing Tinfoil Tuesday. I'm going to be looking at a bunch of conspiracy theories and debunking them. People who are there for the patron-only stream will know we have a very special conspiracy to watch tomorrow. Someone made a conspiracy about me. So, we'll take a look and find out. Am I a lizard person? Tune in to find out. Chat's valid. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye-bye.